for our second elimination series of the day. VortiX versus Puppypaw. I classify as elimination series, but the reality here, Crackety, is every single series remaining is an elimination series. There are no second chances.
Yeah, these sets are absolutely brutal now. I mean, this is it. These players have been working hard, like pretty much weeks and weeks and weeks, working towards this. They've been scrimming, they've been practicing, playing the maps, figuring out hidden strategies, and there's also like always this tactical element. Like they're looking, okay, I'm in this group. Chances are I could be playing against this or that person. Maybe I'm going to scrim versus somebody that has a high win rate against that player, and just like that, like strategies form, like kind of these training groups, practice groups, they form, and now we're here. VortiX against Puppypaw. We mentioned it earlier. I think you mentioned it. That VortiX so far, he hasn't been performing too well in the past up against Puppypaw. But we also took into account that Puppypaw, he had a very good run, or just a very good, very good performance overall. Just before VortiX kind of took a short break for Age of Mythology. Now that VortiX back from Age of Mythology, I think anything is on the table again.
Yeah, in fairness, this year so far, the win difference, like it's a little bit tighter. It's only 3 series play, 2 wins to Puppypaw, 1 to VortiX. And the most recent one in One Trick Pony, which Puppypaw won, went all the way for free. And honestly, to be real with you, I don't think One Trick Pony is a good representation, because if you remember, that tournament was literally only play 1 civ. So the last time they faced off this year would have then been EGC Masters Winter, where the first time it was a 5-game series that went all the way, Puppypaw won. But then VortiX the next time 3-0 wiped Puppypaw. So yeah, wouldn't underrate his capabilities here. And I think another thing that's interesting to talk about, Crackety, is, when we came out of Season 9, when you think about the way people were at least starting with House of Lancaster and Knights Templar, there was a feeling that we were going to be heading towards a more defensive meta. Maybe 2TC was going to be returning, which I think is a playstyle that definitely is better for Canadians, because I think Puppypaw and Wham have, much more comfort in the mid game. In theory, it should have been a cripple for VortiX, but it must be emboldening considering how many games we've seen relying on aggression for one of the most aggressive players in AoE4 to potentially thrive in that new meta.
I think even if it was a 2TC meta, I think VortiX would feel quite confident in that one, just because like Lucifer and VortiX, they really thrive when it comes to being able to like defy all odds with their aggressive playstyle. Like even if 2TC is meta suddenly again, that just means that VortiX and Lucifer now get a better timing to all in.
Well, I wouldn't peg them in together, right? Like Lucifer will probably be like, oh, I'm just going to poke you a little bit. But yeah, VortiX is the guy who's probably going to be building like 3 rams outside your base, and you know what's coming next. So, draft complete. Anything too surprising here? I think some of it has been surprising but become more expected in the last week or two. Is Marlians suddenly becoming first pick material?
They are very much first pick material, I want to say, for the Canadians specifically. I know Wham and Puppypaw, they really, really enjoy playing Marlians. Like they're all in behind that strategy of just massing up those big chunks of infantry units, like having a ton of donzos, a ton of javelin throwers, and then slowly but surely like securing your own base and moving across the map with just this big ball of infantry. That makes it very hard to just play cavalry, play into normal range units. You kind of have to somehow deal with that big blob of infantry when it counters out most of the units that are available to you.
Very diverse unit comp to do that as well, by the way.
Yeah, we're also getting Japan in. I like the state of Japan at the moment. I think their units at the moment in the current meta, they feel really good when you go into like Honorable Geisha and Mounted Samurai as an army composition, just because Honorable Geisha deal really well with spearmen, with crossbows, and Mounted Samurai deal with everything else. And we've also seen like the Buddhist monk play coming in a little bit more, like people started playing it more and more. I'm still not sure how I would rank it overall. Like, it's an interesting play in general. It's greater against some civilizations than it is against others. It's probably like the most effective against civilizations like OTD or maybe Jean in French.
Yeah, it's like if you have high base damage units, then it's going to feel more impactful. I think the other niche role it has is on the newer maps. The small baby vein maps, it makes a lot of sense. Like Enlightened Horizon, we've seen it for Carmel. The whole concept being on those maps, you're going to run out of gold quick. That gives you an infinite resource in your base. So those maps, it can make a little bit more sense in. But yeah, I do think it's a situational build. I always see Twitch chat being like, "Oh, Pog, we're gonna get mass monks." It's like, calm down. It's good. It's not broken. Something that has been interesting
It's
is
definitely not. Even if you have like 50 of them, it's only like 1,000 gold per minute, and 50 units that don't do damage. Yeah,
1250 passive gold, Crackety, and they're military
insane.
units.
That's like English get passively in the late game.
Textiles only gives 75 health. I get 90, and that's before I get
like-
extra health.
That's like every KT game past 20 minutes.
Please stop. The interesting thing around it, actually, I think, has been the change at the start of the game. Is Japan actually doesn't really go Coca anymore because of the Dark Age rush, right? Because you end up with 2 buildings which both get counted by archers. So like that's been the biggest shift, I think, is Kura's returning. But the first matchup of the day, it is going to be Byzantines versus Jean, which did just deliver the most epic matchup of the Anatan CSO series.
You think Puppypaw's just going to try and mirror that?
Yeah, he's like inspired. Like, you know what? I'm going to attack
Goat. I'm going to try that.
Could you imagine if they're just like in the game and the roles don't make sense? All of a sudden you've got VortiX just defending and Puppypaw all out attacking. It's like, what game am I watching right now? Have we got the players mixed up? Like, did production screw
It
up?
would make
Here?
sense to me. Like VortiX, he's the kind of guy to force his aggressive playstyle on the opponent, no matter what matchup.
That is true. I think there's a PC that says like his take on it is, you know, the best way to beat VortiX is to try and like make sure you're fighting him. Don't get suckered into reacting to him.
Yeah.
Well, a fun one, folks. Reminder, by the way, you better be on point, whoever's going to win this, because Marine Lord is waiting and taking notes in the background. He will face off against the winner of this tomorrow in, once again, an elimination series. But let's get to Elite Classic free playoffs. And we've got Puppypaw up against VortiX in a best of 7. In the red, as Jean d'Arc, it is going to be the Canadian. And across the ways, playing as the Byzantines in the blue, we have got VortiX.
Right, and we do actually have the Byzantines opening with the Dark Age barracks here this time around.
That's very
Is Puppypaw
VortiX.
mirroring that? No, Puppypaw's not doing that. Puppypaw's playing normal.
Because, like, we talked about the fact, we hyped it up, the VortiX is the attacker and Puppypaw's the defender. So they're playing to their roles, it seems.
Yeah. No role reversal here. Just good old Age of Empires.
So
What is he
expensive.
going to make? You want to say he is going to make them in there. Yeah, it's especially expensive. I mean, you're not spending a lot of wood, but you're spending a lot of food.
Yeah, and that burns out quickly, right? Like, the thing that's always important to keep in mind is, it's almost like we forgot about it because Pro Scouts changed that dynamic. But before Pro Scouts, food was always the thing to run out first. You have lots of wood near your base in most games and lots of gold.
Puppypaw noticed villagers on the straggler tree. That's a dead giveaway right there. That something's going on.
You just, like, yeah, I think he's just going to rush more gold.
Yeah. How much does he want to rush gold, though?
Wheelbarrow, baby. We need it. Nah. I think he just wants the one knight, maybe.
Yeah, it could be.
Do you know what the ultimate flex is here? You know this play's coming, and when he arrives, the only person gathering here is Jean.
Oh.
Like, like the biggest biceps, because he's got 150 HP. He's like, yeah, hit me. I ain't going to stop gathering. Yeah, I'm surprised you struggled to click on her there, Vodka. She really is that big. She's built. Hitbox should be like 5 times bigger than normal villages.
She's got muscles for days.
Yeah, Mama just protects all the little innocent villages, you know?
He's going for the full 200 gold. Like, he wants 2 knights. Or is he going for
Could it be
Pro
Wheelbarrow
Scout?
Knight, maybe? No, you wouldn't just rush Pro Scouts here with the Matane opening, right?
You wouldn't download a car, would you, KP?
Like, you know, okay, guys, let's be totally real. Most of you, when you hit a deer in real life, you wouldn't get out the car and put it in your boot and go back and skin it and eat it. So why would you do it to a deer in Age of Empires 4?
Money.
Really? Like, you don't even get money, you get food. You filthy roost, main.
You know, food equals money. That's what the people that owned all the rice farms said.
I'm pretty sure, like, money equal food is how most consumers experience it.
Yeah, that's what the poor consumers did.
Crackety's just been so inspired by Clarkson's farm, he's doing his own German version.
Oh man, I'm gonna make my own beer. I'm gonna get a bunker, put some mushrooms in there. Gonna infest the whole land.
Don't forget,
Like-
it's very important that you have a best friend that almost dies in a car crash, and you have to punch a producer on a TV show as well.
Oh yeah.
We're not
Alright,
half
I'm putting that on the bucket list.
I mean, like
Punch a
that.
producer in the face.
No, one up it for the bucket list. Hit the producer with the bucket. And it looks like Puppypaw is going to hit us with that Pro Scouts. Yeah, the gold is right for it, right? I think is it... I always forget the number. Masters hard. Is it 2, 3... It's 228 or something, I think. 195. Look at that. Maths is hard.
Ah. But yeah, he's got enough. He could immediately go for it.
It's only 2 spearmen. You know?
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. You can
Yeah,
just
you know-
kill him with villagers, like chase after them into the sunset.
Like, you know when Chernobyl had the whole meltdown? I'm sure like there was a confident guy who's like, oh, it's only 1 meltdown.
It's
I can
only
outrun
one reactor.
Yeah, like I'll maybe get mutant powers.
Oh yeah, the mutant powers. Yeah, that's how it worked. I mean, I watched Family Guy.
Let me just shave my head and hop in a wheelchair. I'll get the best powers of all. Joke's on him. He didn't realize you have to get shot by your best friend. Grand Warrior is going to be coming in, though, so nothing too unorthodox. Did he... VortiX usually does 2 on stone. Did he do that in the end?
He did. He does have
Yeah.
son.
Yeah, I feel like every single game, he's a big believer in this. It's quite weird for the most aggressive player in AV4 historically to take what I consider to be the most greedy way of doing the system build.
Yeah, but if you go through with it, like we saw it in the last game, right? Like Anaton, once you get those 5 cisterns in, it was so close. It was so close. Even with how the game started, it still was unbelievably close all throughout.
It's ridiculous just what it does to your economy, your production rates, you know, because that's the other thing is just taking dead weight resources and then creating units out of it in like 3 to 6 seconds. It's quite frankly ludicrous, that type of conversion rate. Even offsets the weakness of mercenary timings. In fact, we've seen with this mass system builds, often you end up getting your second mercenary pump quicker than the older builds.
Looks like we are getting some early archers here, but yeah, early Pro Scout play did come in. And now Jean, she's just going to make sure that those Limit Nine aren't going to be anywhere around those gold miners. So timing here is pretty much impeccable, right? Like Puppypaw, he's getting the immediate Pro Scout, immediate scouts out to collect the deer. And now he's back on gold to follow up with knights.
I'm gonna turn to a biased caster here, Crackety. VortiX's systems are not perfectly aligned. You know? You call yourself the Eastern Roman Empire, and you can't even draw a straight line.
Is it really not straight? Look,
It doesn't look straight. Can we get? Can
Yeah, it
someone get
doesn't look
the?
straight.
We need to get the tools out.
Do we
need to
have
measure it.
like a water scale? Yeah.
Doesn't look like a right angle to me. Vodka is so confused what we're talking about right now.
The aqueduct isn't straight, vodka. Needs to be at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, like shout out to Calp. He used to be the best one at doing that. He'd make a perfect
Yeah,
U.
dude.
Yeah. I don't know how he always
would
done
put
it.
his space inside of a box every time.
Like it was pitch perfect, and I was like, man, you know, I'm not surprised. This guy's had years of experience building walls, so.
Oh, there we go.
There is our screen. That is not a right angle. You are not Roman. You're Loman. John? Is
Jean, she's having fun.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I was about to say, I was wondering, he's trying to, I guess, wait for VortiX to not be looking and then take a stab at the villagers.
I mean, also means that there aren't many villagers around the TC right now, right? Since they're gathering out there. So even if he gets into the TC range for a second, doesn't do that much.
VortiX refusing to give over the XP. Please, I'm an RPG gamer.
There's a couple of mercenaries now in queue. Already on system level 4 now. And already almost have enough for the next system level as well.
It feels really bad for Puppypaw that he wasn't attacking that system play. Like, maybe that would have been the thing worth idling out. You know, it doesn't sound like much, an extra 4%, but what matters is the production rates that are going to be inflated now. And already into olive growers. VortiX, he is going full defender.
Yeah. This is just peak Byzantines here right now. Puppypaw, he doesn't really have that many units out to like play against the mercenary, like the army composition next.
No, because
A
Pro
couple of
Scouts
archers, but
so
yeah,
greedy.
that's the issue. It's very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, this is on the Civ that gets it cheaper as well. Yeah, it still feels like the difference that allowed VortiX to get away with this type of play.
John on the run.
You know, I also...
We're up to 2 knights now.
I often think that's like the thing that's not talked about enough with Pro Scouts and what you give up as John and French. It's cheap, but that's almost like the bait, because then you have to sacrifice knight production to produce scouts instead.
Yeah, that's true. Like, not getting that early nighttime again, that could have made quite a big difference, especially when it comes to the stone gathering.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, the Limitano were barely holding on at first against John. So one of the knights is going to reap on the backside, so nicely done. That is, once again, not a right angle. No wonder,
dude.
No wonder the Byzantines crumbled.
Yeah, now we know why.
They like, you know, Hagia Sophia got built. They're like, wow, circular things are cool.
Let's never do that again. To be fair, when you're in Italy or like in Rome, streets also aren't really square.
Do all roads lead to Rome, though?
I mean, if you follow them for long enough, you always take a right then a left turn.
What if it's 50 years from now, the coastline's eroded and the road just leads into the water? Have I just got to follow that road?
Waterways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
straight
Kevin
line, baby.
Costner it, okay? Waterworld that crap. Come on. There's a lot of Limazane. Puppypaw. There's a growing
That's
eco
the thing,
concern
right?
here.
Like this many archers. You need so many archers against this now.
Yeah.
You need enough archers to one-shot, which, follow Midnight, that's like 20 archers. And then you need enough to be able to have enough archers even while the javelin throwers one-shot your archers.
I wonder if a Puppypaw is a greedy play that makes more sense here.
He's getting a lot of halves in, but what he needs right now is just mass archer.
Like, it's not bad if your knights can raid in, but the problem is, like, you know, upsides of the enemy economy being condensed, you know where to find it. Downsides is it's much easier to defend.
He could also make some more spearmen in. Just use the food. I think spearmen right now would be more valuable than the knights, honestly.
Yeah, good counter to Limitane. Also gives you something to bog down. Good counter to javelins. Give you something to bog down Limitane. So Knights, they're still trying to chip in. It looks like it's 2 worker kills so far in the game, but obviously systems are offsetting that advantage.
Yeah. VortiX, I think, also got textile, so you should have a little bit more of a buffer there. Engagement comes in. Jean at the front side. Some good experience coming over, but Jean's still lacking a lot when it comes to getting to the next level. And
she's being ignored
nicer
right now. Yeah, now they're turning on the javelins.
Just out the archers.
I think this is beautifully done. Now you can just DPS fire in to make sure he limits the XP. And that's an overwhelm. I think Puppypaw is going to get idled on gold here.
Yeah, he's going to have to evacuate from the gold now. There we go. Pulls back, goes to the next gold over.
The funny thing is this comp can usually be pretty good. Like when you're against Master Limitane with Melee Jean, if you have enough knights, it feels great, right? Because if they turn to stab her, they all get charged. But you know, it comes back to what you were saying earlier, where maybe Puppypaw needs more archers, or maybe he needed like more of just one unit all in. I wonder like what the thought process was. Like maybe he just didn't expect VortiX's economy to be this clean. But we're seeing Castle Age already from Byzantines.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing, right? Like he barely made. That's the thing. He only made spearmen in theory.
But he made them early, Crackety. He made them real early.
He did. Okay, a couple of javelin throws are now dead. That means that he can't one-shot the archers anymore, except the ones that are already lowish HP. Actually, never mind. I take that back. He has blacksmith upgrades. He's able
and
to
also,
one-shot still.
You say the archers. You should say the archer. Okay.
Yeah.
Plural. Second one joining in now. Looks like he's trying to intercept
now
reinforcements.
The spearman count's sitting out. Golden Horn Tower on its way, though. But yeah.
It's the price you pay for a tech
count
up.
definitely going down.
Whoa. Calm down,
we're getting close to level up.
Just around the corner. Is it happening again, just at a different pace? Could he do the CSO? That's what we're referring to that
there we
play
go.
with now.
Level up. Still not quite there.
One more.
So close.
Just one more, please.
Come on, what?
No,
come. Okay, he's waiting.
Well, why
10
are you
seconds
waiting?
and then he has it.
He's teching up, man. There is no waiting.
He's waiting for more knights. No, he's also taking up. Puppypaw also wants to take up. He could cancel a knight and go up.
So Guildhall? Probably Guildhall, right?
He would Guildhall. I take Puppypaw as a Guildhall kind of person. No, he's rolling.
Whoa, he is inspired. We are.
He
we
is
are
definitely inspired. That's a consecrated Guild roll incident right there.
Consecrated Guildhall. I don't even know how that would work.
I don't know. You get more gold.
No. It's always discounts, so somehow you end up getting less gold.
Let's go. No interest right there.
But it does get a cool emblem above it. So, take-ups to be complete on both sides. Puppypaw...
Oh, why did he spawn the units out there? Guess he just wanted to put the ability on cooldown, but Puppypaw just spawned his 3 units in the middle of nowhere? Or inside of base? Where did he spawn them?
I'm at a loss here.
Yeah, inside of his
Might have
base.
been at home, yeah. Nice raid in, though. Chip damage done. Now 6, almost 7 worker lead in total. We do
I have no clue where they are.
It's a AoE's edition of Where's Wally? Or Waldo. I think
Where's
there's
John
one...
Champions?
Is there one in the Sacreds? No, that's a... Where did you hide them?
Where are they?
What did you do with them? It'd be a shame if I hid them behind a wall and bricked it up with no food. You're a monster.
Nice to get caught out there. Something
they are.
interesting to keep in mind. Oh, yeah, they were hiding. All right. There we go. Something interesting with Jean is if you're right next to a wall, you can actually spawn the units over the wall.
Can you spawn them on a wall?
No, but they do spawn on the other side.
Ah, damn
They're
it.
going to say hello
Not
from
quite
the
the
other
same.
side.
Because the cool thing is if they like were on top, they could have sung Chandelier at you instead, you know? I'm looking at the goal. Like, actually, VortiX still has a lot of safety in his spawn here. There's no
He
rush
does.
out.
He definitely does. Yeah. And the economy's great for him at the moment as well.
Relics as well against someone who has this many knights. This is an impressive beginning to the
He's
age of
actually a
VortiX.
little bit lacking. I don't think he made that many Olive Groves. I think he's only on like the first 8 or 9.
Yeah. Yeah, he played it quite
Maybe
safe.
less. Yeah. 7.
It's tricky on this map, right? Because like the wood is quite limited as well.
Yeah, Puppypaw,
lines
once
there.
again, he's also actively making the John Champions.
We're cooking with the 1-2. Tankiest you can get. He's actually adding an arbitrary as well. Now that's a little bit surprising.
Weird to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a single armored unit here.
And there normally isn't in this matchup, right? Byzantines, there's no reason you'd want to build Varangian, a lower
Yeah.
HP melee unit against knights.
Our bot line's now in, so these knights are going to be a lot more tanky. Just when VortiX kind of left his base there. He's moving out
Camels?
with all of his units.
One of them's in
Camus?
the snipes. Camus just sounds like a terrible Marley and Cow variety of that unit.
That's a new nickname for Demu.
No, I think that just needs to be like a Malian variant. It's just it's cow riders. You know? We just get our production guy out of the booth. You make him run around on all fours with a saddle on his back.
VortiX doesn't look too impressed by these night raids here. He's not moving up back with his army. He's committed. And there's a lot of villagers out there. Never mind,
thing they
they
just did?
evacuated.
Yeah, but the lumber camp makes it kind of obvious, so this is suspicious. You're stopping the bullet blacksmith?
17-minute blacksmith.
Yeah, also it's the fact he felt confident enough to stop to build it is crazy. I can't believe he got away with
The
that.
javelin thrower is just taking everything apart here now on the retreat.
Yeah, it turns out champions are not so good when they slow you down like this. I think that scout is dead. Don't quote me, but he
Might
may have been
be.
killed.
Yeah, at this point in time, there's more javelins than flesh left on the corpse.
True as shish kebab. It's almost like a all-you-can-share shish kebab. Everyone grabs one stick.
The knights came back though.
Okay, grab his sticks and charge in. The
It's
champion's
getting
front
taken,
line.
John. Heal comes in. That was clutch.
She's almost dead. Champions are holding the front line, but it looks like Sean is going to go down. Javelins get the snipe. However, this
He
is
did tank
definitely
a
going to be a
lot of the
wipe for the
volleys.
Ford army.
Yeah,
Yep.
and the knights can now clean up all of the javelin throwers here. That's massive value. Look at the army value just dipping. instantly now.
But then look at the military count after this. Like, VortiX still has so many javelins again. I think he's added in more groves. He's definitely not a like critical mass strength point. He needs more time. This is an expensive loss.
He's gonna need crossbows now.
Yeah, and Puppypaw, I mean, it's gonna be slow to arrive in the base, but this is the whole point of the champion's timing. They may not be quick, but they just refuse to die.
Still has the knights after all.
Yeah, with bloodlines. The effective HP in this army is, I want to say, like close to 3 times, maybe 4, what VortiX has.
Is Jean d'Arc secretly OP?
No. It's fine, Crackly. She needs buffs.
Ciso and Puppypaw working to get a nerf now.
Because if Reddit is right, then Spearmen also need a buff.
That's right.
So Jean is underpowered. We solved it. I mean, in fairness to her, I still don't really see the riders looking that good often. So
yeah,
we could probably buff something.
He's just keeping on adding more and more of the champions. It's just going to be a full melee mosh pit here. Crossbows are just now being added in by VortiX. Still takes a while.
I don't think we have any mango towers, which was a key point in the defense for Anasand in his final game of the series that just happened. So definitely
VortiX
a lot
doesn't
easier.
usually find himself on the defense.
No. He's like, what is this thing I've built next to my gold vein? What is its purpose? Flash coming in, though, on that gold vein. A few camels here are just baiting and distracting the mass knights, which is actually a perfect way for VortiX to fight this. Yeah, Puppypaw.
So they're against the units that they counter.
Yeah, no, but they're outnumbered. Like, look what was happening there. Puppypaw, I don't know what that was. That felt like an overreaction. He sent about 9, 10 knights at least after 3 camels. And it gives VortiX the recovery arc here. Pushes him away.
There's plenty of champions in the back of his base.
I don't know if Puppypaw was trying to raid. I really don't know what the thought process those knights were.
He was raiding.
Okay, so you didn't get more worker kills compared to, like, I think he already had 7. So he's going to dive in now. We do have the knights coming back from the south side towards the gold. So it's going to be a multi-pronged assault.
Good reaction. That's a good one.
Snipes the monk. Can't find the workers. Good reaction so far at VortiX. Those pointy sticks are becoming problematic, and Puppypaw is doing something a little bit crazy. He's pivoting into horsemen.
Against 30 Midnight? I mean, the horsemen, they still get boosted up by the royal bloodlines, and he is floating a lot of food. So maybe he just wants to spend his food on units?
I mean, just add in normal men-at-arms alongside the champions, right?
Would be an
I
option.
guess it might encourage crossbows a bit more, right? Like, maybe that's his paranoia. He thinks there's a lot more crossbows than there actually are.
Currently only at 6, but you can mess him up quickly. Don't forget, system level 5. Those units get out quick.
We have got the border settlements coming in, so housing will give good vision. VortiX having us play dangerous now. It's going to be a 4-tree line further away from his base. Also doesn't have a system buff there. If he can secure this area, though, like a system here, gold, wood, maybe a mango tower.
Would be great for him. He's got the stone for it. Once again, from the bottom side. Would love Puppypaw to split up the knights into 2 groups and also raid from the top side.
Agreed. I think he came so close with that little poke with the men-at-arms in the north. When you do it 1 by 1 like this, yeah, there can just be answers. Camel's going to be there with the crossbows, so enough to scare him away. And we do have some small walls coming through. Area gathering the area as well. That is a melee mosh pit. A full-on party. The champions are going to spread out. Jean is in range to give the buff as well. Cleaves adding up. And no easy snipe onto her so far.
Yeah. At this point, like, there's just so many champions.
Hold on.
The midnight count is going down quickly, but
yeah, the crossbows are going to get rid of Jean. And that means the champion's going to be sniped as well. But
they wasted so many volleys, though.
They wasted
so many volleys there. Acrotronic defense could be used.
I think it's fine. But the knights coming in now. The camels aren't able to keep pace. And there's no Limitani left to defend against this now. So Puppypaw.
Villagers going down.
Yeah, just sacrifice the champions. But it could be worth it here. Crossbows now being targeted. No one is standing in the way for them anymore. Villagers stuck in the middle of it. And the eco difference is growing. 48 to 71 now. A fantastic strike by Puppypaw.
Yeah. Just killed so many villagers there. And the fight. I mean, he lost his army, but he's remassing. Still looking good. Is it just me, or did the midnight count just not go down during that fight?
I feel like I'm watching an infinite loop run of Lemmings. You know, they all died, and then they're just all there at the start again. It's like you're playing on easy mode. You must complete the level. It's ridiculous, but like, one, it's the power of Conscriptio. Two, we have to remember, we have to add on 25% to the Byzantine economy. It's like,
yeah,
there's a lot of power here, and the grove count is getting high.
It is, and VortiX, he's not out. He is not out. He's also got 3 relics inside of the landmark. He's at over 700 olive oil per minute.
Yeah, and Puppypaw no longer has knights. It's only 8. That switching to horseman makes him substantially weaker here.
The horsemen just are so weak against camels and the midnight.
He's going to start targeting that north side.
He might die to this now.
Well, it's his turn to feel the pain. He's going to try to rally the remaining knights forward to attack the economy again, but considering how quickly VortiX is producing Limitane, something tells me there'll be plenty waiting to receive.
So many. This is just such a huge melee force. Puppypaw is trying to go into the archers, but his woodworker is now also getting intercepted.
I tell you what, the Unlimitane strat felt like it died a long time ago in its purest form, but VortiX is doing his best to try and bring it back here. Camel count is also looking good. They can turn into effective pseudo-raiders. Nowhere near as good at a knight at killing villagers, but very tanky, very hard to assassinate. And no, wait,
yeah.
Are we doing this? Because like, if VortiX just walks all the way in and stands on top of them, that's going to turn into a bloodbath. He hasn't realized yet. He's a little bit distracted, so they're idle in the stealth forest on the north side where the clash happens here. Jean's going to come around the back. The camels block her out perfectly. It's going to be a cascade effect on the north side. Looks like he's going to be able to break through, but the camel reaction coming in is going to apply that debuff. Jean's done a loop-de-loo around the tree line. And Divine Restoration coming in clutch. VortiX forced to retreat, but he's got a second wave just to the east of this screen. And here they come.
Champions. Champions, they keep Puppypaw in the game here.
Look at the XP bar.
Just getting absolutely shredded. We're getting to level 4 soon here. This fight could just be it.
Now, the javelins did find the villagers in the end, so it's a massacre on the stone line. Jean is finally taking some damage, and she will be sniped. Yeah, final crossbow comes through. Okay, so no level 4. The champions are now been debuffed. There's a few crossbows to snipe them down, and this is where VortiX can breathe a sigh of relief. This is the type of fight he wants. One that is just brain-dead A-clicking with no threat of a level 4.
I'm not sure. We still have a good amount of archers here.
Javelin back
is coming back, though.
Yep. They culled, what, 8 villages on the north side? Now they're here to claim more souls. Archer backline is trying to clear the remaining Limitane, but this is looking rough. I think the problem for Puppypaw is...
basically got the archers.
It's not just like the biggest problem here for Puppypaw is where's he getting food now? He's gathering berries on the south side.
There's nothing left.
That's it. Like, it's just no deer remaining, no safety in the base. This is just an infinite food slog for VortiX.
You got up a keep on the gold here. But villagers, I mean, we're now kind of at the point where, sure, Puppypaw still has more villagers, but VortiX are still so much more efficient, and now siege engineering is coming in. VortiX he's only been making Limitane for what feels like the entire game outside of mercenaries. He made like, what, 10? 12 crossbows?
I mean, with the way you pronounce...
Everything else is just Limitane.
With the way you pronunciate a word's weird today. The way with you, and they're getting weirder. The way in which you say that word kind of says everything. Limit? Nay. There is no limit to these things. I think like so far in this game, you must have built, what, 200 Limitane? That feels too low. We need a production count in game because I feel like it's so much higher than 200 already.
Oh, man.
And there's the ball.
Like, moving on to the ball now.
This is getting desperate. I think he has...
Yeah, 28-minute ball play.
Maybe one more big fight in him, and that's it. We have to remember there's no guild hall behind this, so no clear recovery arc.
I feel like the keep might be the next target. Something tells me.
Maybe VortiX is just a really big Usher fan. You know, let it burn. Nice health.
Oh, man.
You touch them for a second, and you're almost dead. Okay, this is rough now. There's just so many camels.
Are running in. Yeah.
They're going to chase her away.
I mean, like,
She can't
Puppypaw,
get
he had the
me.
counter with the champions, but just wasn't good enough. It's just too many.
This is sick. The
It's
camels,
just too many.
It's just denying any level up here. Any hope of recovery. This is absurd. And the Courier Siphons, I believe they're already on their way towards... Yep.
They're standing in their way, but that's not somewhere where they want to be.
Oh, no, no, no. There's going to be a dive in from the full Byzantine army. Jean could easily be sniped. The crossbows turn on her to scare her away. And the garrison force is going to come in, but that's not going to last long. You need to repair this, big boy. Dive pass. Jean just so close to that level 4. But the creeping question in your mind has to be, will it actually make a difference? Yeah.
It's so close. Come on. Come on. Get the camels.
Just one more kill.
It's still not enough.
Just one more.
How is it still not enough? Another one went down. Another one.
He still needs... Oh, God.
It takes so long.
He needs 2.5 more camel kills.
Long.
This is ridiculous. It's like...
The crossbows are running through.
She's going to get level 4, and there's no army left. At that point, she has to be a Dynasty Warriors character to win.
Level ups here.
Hero Siphons are also here. Oh, my God.
Goodbye,
that might be overkill. Jean, oh no. No, you wait all this time for this. Not like this. It is going to be like this. She's going to go down. That's 1,000 gold he can't afford. GG gets called. VortiX, an insane game 1 turnaround to take the lead.
God, it's so many villagers died, but it didn't matter to the Byzantines. Army trade out was just still too good for VortiX. Pumping out those Limit 184 produced this game.
I'm disappointed. Didn't hit the 200 count. If it went a little bit longer. I mean, that was impressive, though. Like, well played to VortiX, reminding us that sometimes trash spam can be good enough. I mean, we talked about the Anatan CSO game where it was Limitane, but also reliant on static defenses. He never really leaned on that. Barely any walls, the outpost, not really getting Magno on placements. Never felt like he was in a position where it was a necessity. Reminded us why he is an infamously aggressive player.
Yeah. That was wild. I honestly didn't expect the Dark Age Limitani opener. That was an interesting one. Didn't in the end like achieve too much, but it made the game very weird for Puppypaw. No early night opening there. Instead, had to immediately go for the Pro Scout.
I wonder if that was the fault. You know, some players don't like that when you do something weird at the start of the game because it forces them to readjust their build order. Because even at the highest level, I think there's some players that at least the first 5 to 10 minutes, you just want to be like, yes, this is the way this plays out. But when you knock them off, even by 20 or 30 seconds in the opening, your game sense, your timings are completely off.
I'm not that sure about it. It's more like the readjustment is easy, but then it becomes weird. Like, okay, how are my opponent's timings now?
Do you never feel like you've had games where you just look at the clock as reference point for what you should be doing?
No.
Interesting. I don't know if that's like a StarCraft thing.
It doesn't happen anymore.
Doesn't happen. I've become numb to the clock. Too many 2-hour-long games. No reference point.
I mean, it's only like when you play up against like Delians, like, okay, 650, okay, you should be going out to Sacred Sites now.
I do wonder if it's like more of a maybe StarCraft thing, because obviously in that game, like I think it makes more sense with the static spawns. You kind of know like when you should be at a certain point, what you can do at a certain point. If that makes sense, right? Like
it's like a reactionary thing. Like you never look at the clock and are like, oh, I should have been at this point in time now. But it's like you look at the time in the game when like your opponent ages up, and you can deduct based off that. Okay, he's going for this play or that play. It's the opportunity to do this and that.
Interesting. And that's an interesting G2. I think that's the first time we've seen Japanese on Sacred Grove.
We don't see Japanese that often in general, especially not picked that early on. Like, this is the second game, and yeah, typically not a priority pick, but this time, Puppypaw, he whips him out very early on.
And how do we feel about this matchup? Because I feel like so far in 2025, the only word that needs to be said to describe this matchup is crossbow.
Yeah, it's the issue, right? Like, you can't go for Onabugeisha in this situation. You don't have your own crossbows. You get the Onamusha, which don't feel that great, I want to say, up against crossbows. Maybe as a raiding unit, but for straight up engagements, it feels very tough. And yeah, just as mentioned, like making on a Geisha in this matchup is just not something that you can really do. That's the thing, right? Like French, even against another knight civilization, they don't go spearmen. They just keep on hammering the knights.
And that hurts you even more, because I feel like the player that's been making Japanese look really good at the moment are the ones that involve Yumi pressure in the earlier phase, right? And if I had to like list civs that you don't want to build Yumi against, I feel like French is easily top 3.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I'm wondering what the play is going to be. I mean, maybe this would be like the prime situation, right? To go for the Buddhist monk play here in this situation, in this matchup. I could see that. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I can see where you come from. Like the focus on French knights, you know, it's less units to debuff and also higher base damage, so you actually like remove a lot of the wallop. Just maybe take a more defensive angle. The one challenge might be around food. The thing about Sacred Grove is it doesn't give you much safe food. You have to play onto the flanks or center quickly. And we have to remember it's likely going to be pro scouts, which means even less food options. So maybe some sort of ultra greedy early farm transition. It just feels like Japan doesn't do those that well.
I mean, I think Puppypaw might just go for like the early deer shove build, right? Like that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, with the spears.
That will at least deny one of the deer packs. VortiX could also scout that out. We're gonna have to see if he like scouts it out and denies it. Game number 2. We're jumping in right away.
Oh yes, it is gonna be some Dark Age aggression, but not from the Civ you'd expect. VortiX on the French is going to kick us off with a racks opening, but it will be mirrored as expected by the Japanese with that 75 wood discount from Puppypaw.
That is very interesting. Kind of means that, yeah, both players are probably just going to try and deny the opponent's deer here potentially. Like, look at that VortiX. Yeah, he's just immediately gunning for that. Taking those deer down. Well, probably wanting to push his own deer. And Puppypaw, he sees this. Is he going to do the same thing, though? Because VortiX, he still opened up with the spearman.
That's what I'm wondering.
He's not making one yet.
But check this. Puppypaw is steering there. Yeah, so he should see the racks, right? Right? No.
No, he's going right around the wood line. He's not going to see it.
So this is... This might be...
Wait, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
The delayed timing on the spearman might make this perfect. It's... No.
Oh my god,
no
he just
way.
barely doesn't see it.
Are you kidding me?
He just barely doesn't see it. Oh my god, dude. No way.
Okay, he has got spears on the way, so that should reveal it.
Is he gonna try pushing his opponent's deer in?
The stealth forest is gonna grief this.
He's gonna be so confused when he sees French spearmen.
Did he see? He should be like, you don't just look at the deer, right? Like, remember, he's just seeing an icon on the map.
He's going straight for the gold.
Oh my god. For the gold. Yeah, but the next spearman like isn't coming. Look at what the next spearman is doing. Oh no. Oh, this is sick by VortiX.
That's so strange. Strange but relatable in this meta.
But this is the thing, right? The fact it's strange is what makes it so good. This is the value of variable play. If you follow the meta and do the optimal build all the time, people can like essentially react to it before you even do it. Yeah, but like it's too late. Like it's too late. Like,
kill the deer. Kill the deer. Oh, he's
you
like,
can't. With one spear, you'll just die.
How is the spearman losing that hard to this opponent's spear? Okay, yeah, and he's losing. Oh no!
Oh my god!
No, that's disaster.
This
Full
is
disaster mode.
Cursed.
Yeah.
Right.
And now he's going for samurai. He's doubling down. He's doubling down. Double or nothing now.
What is there to double down on?
He hasn't been. Yeah, VortiX hasn't been out on the gold yet. This is going to be a Dark Age only game.
Okay, but your opponent now has deer gathering. Okay, I like that. Puppypaw's like, okay, if he's got deer gathering rate, I need deer gathering rate. It's going to be 4 out into the gold. Yeah, but
the issue is that the gold
samurai
is so close to TC.
And also, samurai do not arrive fast.
And they're also not that good.
There's a lot of ands we have to talk about samurai. And let's just summarize it simply as they suck. It's a very underwhelming Dark Age unit.
Yeah, much better units to make.
Yeah, like villagers. Scouts.
He sees VortiX out on gold now, but I mean, Puppypaw, he's so so far away from fuel age at this point in time.
And this is the
Just now
problem.
moving out
You
to
need
gold.
to back up the samurai, or you could just lose the 3 spears. He has got the other 2 spears coming in, but they're going straight for the gold. VortiX may have been a bit too greedy about this, actually. He doesn't have enough. He has to build more spears. Wait, actually, well, hold on a sec.
Gold in range of the TC, though.
Yeah, but this is going to be snug on the gold count. I think he's still shy of what he needs by about maybe 10.
Yeah, he's just pulling him.
Yeah, there you go. Needs 13 more. He's baiting him in range for that, though. Yeah, best to ignore the samurai. Otherwise, you're just going to let him keep getting deflective armor back. So, able to chase away. Shiv's out now. Look at that. Wow, such a manly, heavily armored unit losing to someone with a butter knife.
Not just someone. It's like 6 people ganging him up in a choke point.
I feel like if you're wearing heavy armor and have, like, a blade on a long stick. I don't know, just full-on Beyblade swing around once.
Are we getting to the question? Are we getting to the question, KP? How many toddlers do you think you could take on the playground?
I feel like, you know, the thing is, you got to make sure they all engage at the same time, because if not, it's just an attrition battle, right? In which case, I'm gonna be up like 44 toddlers.
Yeah, I mean they start stacking up at one point.
You've been watching too many cartoons. They don't stack. Like what happens is they try to stack
they
up.
did it just like in 300, dude.
No. They that works for me, Crackety, because now I've created a sandbag body wall of toddlers, so the other toddlers can't reach me. Right? You gotta be careful not to build that wall too high though, because otherwise they can basically full-on elbow drop you from the top rope. It's goddamn toddlers.
How's the bone density on toddlers? Does the elbow like all in actually hurt?
Oh god. They just snap the... You know, if their bone density sucks that much, I blame the parents personally. Like, you clearly haven't been giving your kid enough calcium. Kind of like these Dark Age Samurai. And we brought it back to AoE 4.
We're back.
Yep, just in time
Knights
for the
now coming in
Knights.
from VortiX. I mean, that's the point now. Like, we're in a meta where people are used to having resources all safe, tucked away in underneath the TC. Puppypaw's out on the map. Knights here are gonna be devastating potentially.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not pulling back right now. He doesn't... Okay, he's got Tawara, so he can wait a little bit longer. The problem is that Stealth Forest and the fact that I want to know, is his scout deeper? I think his scout is just north of this, so you will see the knight coming early and know exactly when to pull back. Because, you know, losing all these spears is pointless, Crackety. Like, I don't know why I'd want spears against French.
Yeah.
I'll just rush castle and build my own knights. Good timing, does see it.
Get spotted.
VortiX is not a waster.
Hitting him.
Yeah, wait. VortiX is not a waster. He's like going pro scouts like, look, if you've only eaten half your meal, I'll finish it off. But Puppypaw is
I'll take the rest.
committed, man. I wasn't expecting the outpost.
Getting the
double
outpost
down.
in, yeah.
Yeah, but what about the gold?
What about it?
It looks like he might need a little bit more for what he was planning.
Surely he can do both. What's the follow-up going to be here? I mean, Puppypaw in theory... In these numbers, I would have actually loved for him to like add in like maybe like 3, 4 on a Begacia just to get rid of the Spearman very easily, very quickly as well.
That's true. You do obviously have to wait feudal age, but you do already have the rack, so... I think that's the tricky part, is you know if you're both in feudal, there's knights, and you're building a unit that then is going to be counted by knights. So like, maybe it feels like you're just over-addressing the first
by
thing.
knights? I'm not sure if the knights actually counter on a Begacia. Like, especially early on, when you get, like, +2 pierce damage. Not pierce damage, but, like, melee damage on them.
You're assuming that at the start of feudal age, you're going to have +2 melee damage.
This is very much in... Like, Puppypaw has the resource for it.
Nicely done. Puppypaw gets the outpost up.
Yeah. He lost 1 villager. He's very fine there. We're just going to pull ahead villager-wise anyway, so...
As expected. We do have the Kurosawa's farms coming in, so Puppypaw will have some longevity. But I gotta give him credit, man. Like, sticking out on this deer, very risky, but it's gonna give him a lot more runway here for the possibilities of the mid-game.
Has to be careful with those knights coming in.
It's still gonna be 3 deer stacks of VortiX, easy peasy over time due to pro scouts. We do have archers now coming through. VortiX probably now aware with that outpost commitment that this is going to be a castle rush from Puppypaw.
Blacksmith now coming in as well. A lot of villagers just pulled over to gold. So it could be just an all-in on the knights now, honestly. Like, with the archers as well. There's gonna need to be another unit composition coming for Puppypaw, and Puppypaw, he's going up to Castle Age behind this.
Yeah, it's not looking like there's going to be a timing for VortiX to stop that happening. And the knight scaling hasn't really taken off yet, so definitely some potential here. With the archers coming out, it's likely Puppypaw will not open on Amusha, but Mount Samurai should be able to solve, considering how small VortiX's army currently is.
Early horseman queue. Maybe Puppypaw just trying to snipe some reinforcements with that. Oh, cancelled. There we go. Floating gate now on its way. So no Buddhist monks on the menu here.
Oh yeah, he went double arrows. I was about to say, like, the numbers on stone don't make sense. Yeah, he's nowhere near Uma Bannerman timing, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, he's skipping that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, more outposts. So full defense.
I feel like
at
you
home.
gotta skip it against the knight play now, because if you go for the Uma Bannerman play, then it's just too tough, like too rough to hold. You're gonna need the emplacements.
Yeah, and well, the whole point is having these multiple emplacements. It means he can potentially just run the first Mount Samurai over to this side of the map, right? So
yeah,
full aggro, full defense at the same time.
Just being able to snipe the archers, very important.
VortiX, he's starting to hold a little bit in reserve. There's no harm in still scaling knights. They will keep relative use as the game goes on, obviously. But I mean, I guess the priority is open knights to block the relics. You don't want to be giving that over to the Shintos for free.
Another stable. That's interesting.
Huh. Well, he's floating a little bit of surplus resource. Maybe there's a world in which he float and gate something other than production, but that would be kind of crazy. There we go. Double Q up. Knights are going to ride in. That is enough torch power to burn this down. Now it's not. He lost one. Now it'll still be enough. Archers are ready to get the repair crew. But he's buying time for the first Mount Samurai to come in, and good target fire on those archers as they're the biggest threat.
Yeah, getting them down means that the villagers at least have a chance to escape when the spearmen arrive. Gonna have to do it soon, though.
Repair. He's gonna run for it.
There they go.
Mount Samurai. Nice body
Samurai's
block.
coming in.
He draws all aggro.
Doesn't lose the villagers. That was amazing. Incredibly well played.
You get what? You get 2 knight kills, 3 archer kills on that dive, maybe 4, and you lose 2 spearmen and a tower. Totally worth it.
Well instituted though, follow up. So VortiX is going to follow up now. And with this many villagers in gold, he's going to be able to easily afford royal bloodlines and veterancy as soon as the age up hits.
Does need a lot more knights currently, though. 5 is not insanely scary.
It's not ideal.
No, Puppypaw's about to end up with more knights. Which poses a very interesting interaction, doesn't it? Because you get 80 extra HP. In the DPS exchange, your opponent has deflected 30 damage from you and done 30 damage to you. It's pretty crazy the difference that makes. And then, of course, down the line, Uma Bannerman, extra +1 melee. I mean, this is why Mounted Samurai feels so good. And we have to remember, like, cantled saddles will not trigger. Wallow? Okay, I feel scammed. I feel like that was a lie.
Yeah, that was...
That line disappeared.
Wasn't.
However,
Some good raids, though, at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
No royal bloodlines yet.
I mean, no veterancy. These knights don't want to really fight into double Mounted Samurai. And look at this. Puppypaw is just going to micro it back one by one. He has, of course, got the Shintos that are going to be waiting at home. Uma Bannerman is also in for the buff. Defensive fight. VortiX does have the TC to assist, but it is costing him a lot of idle time as well.
Not worth losing that many Mounted Samurai, though, but yeah.
Wait, he's
Losing the idle time definitely good there.
Is that a misclick? Please tell me that's missed. Why would you build Samurai here? This... Okay, there we go. We got rid of... I was about to say, like, is this not the worst civ of the game now to build Samurai against?
Yeah, you don't need them. No reason to make them there at all.
Maybe he wants to try and get some spears slipped in so the Mount Samurai can just focus on raiding. VortiX has a very early time to arbitrate, and you're starting to see the real picture here, right? Like, I don't think it's about raw bloodlines. It could be about a timing around Gamson's crossbow stirrups.
Hmm. Arbitrary now coming in as well.
How do you feel about those type of builds, though, by the way? When people go Raw Institute to Mass Arbor? Because it often feels like...
you still get some great bonuses, right? Like getting the discount on Gambesons, you're getting the faster attack speed on the Arbaletier. It doesn't feel as impactful as the Knights, but like never discredit that the attack speed on the Arbaletier is actually insanely valuable.
It is. I think that the weird thing is that by the time it usually feels worth it, you're almost ready with a guild hall to go Imperial Age, right? Like, it's a very polarizing timing, I've noticed. Because you don't want to open
actually
the age
keep in mind as well, something that's not utilized very often is that you also get the trading upgrade.
That is
on
true.
the Royal Institute.
And we have some
on this map, like if you get
map.
some walls in, if you get some walls in, you could easily trade on this map.
And we had that very intriguing game against another Canadian, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
The insanity of the late game Lancaster versus French.
That was an insane game.
He just didn't die. I don't know how he kept surviving that long. The full Le Cockroach. So we have got a raid around to the back. Arbitrary should be camping in the base at this stage, though. So it should be...
And VortiX immediate reaction pulls the villagers back from the wood line. Oh, but the one underneath the TC gets sniped.
This isn't a lot of space. No, he's just going to dive in. Their front line to protect. So good trade here for Puppypaw. And if he cleans this up, the villagers, that's GG. Puppypaw makes it work on the board nice and early in this series with a swift dub from the Japanese.
Nicely played.
Especially after
honestly, after that opening, that was a wild one. Spearman from the French, actually like really efficient trade outs there early on. Shoving the deer in, denying the opponent's deer. I think maybe the pro scout play was unnecessary.
He felt quite greedy, yeah. Maybe if he didn't do that, there would have been a timing to block the gold. Because, you think about the cost of pro scouts, then adding the scouts, that's like, what, two less knights and probably 4 less archers, if you think about the timing investment. And maybe you then able to have kind of thread a ram, which would have countered the double tower defense, which I think was critical for Puppypaw getting the breathing room. But yeah, this is the play we were talking about in the other game. Like, it's crazy he got the deer all the way home, especially when you consider that Puppypaw was running straight for his gold.
Gold denial here and there, causing VortiX a little bit delay when it comes to getting to Feudal Age, but overall was still very fine. Looking at the next matchup, we got Mongols against Order of the Dragon on Frisian Marshes. That's an interesting one. I think Mongols makes a lot of sense just because trade is really good. Order of the Dragon, I'm not that sure about. Maybe if you play them like HRE. I'm just in general not a big fan of playing Order of the Dragon like HRE.
I think the other thing is, on this map, I'm usually thinking, okay, how do we outpost rush? And that's kind of a weak point for the dragon. The spearmen might be unkillable. It's very difficult to build enough to get garrison value, because you have to remember that you pay double the price to get one garrison slot that does the same damage as any other Civ.
That's an interesting one. I think, honestly, like, Order of the Dragon is like one of these civs that suffers the most if Mongols goes to Imperial Age.
That's fair. I can see that. I think maybe for Order of the Dragon, you can just go straight out onto the fish, actually. That's maybe an interesting angle, because your villagers are very tanky. You don't feel like you have to run away quickly. And you're also very efficient for outpost defenses later. Could be just as easy at like a Burgrave rush here. You have to remember this map is very good for that kind of linear route to the enemy base. Men-at-Arms could be super impactful, because Mongols, Keshik's not really a great answer into gilded
I like
Men-at-Arms.
Burgrave rush.
Yeah.
I like the idea with the Burgrave. Like, up against Mangada, you're going to have to be a little bit creative. Maybe it's some Gilded Horsemen as well. But just Burgrave as well. Like, getting Landsknechted in, Gilded Landsknecht in at the moment, feels really good since they actually buffed the cost of Landsknecht as well. So they're really, really cheap now with the Burgrave.
I will say one thing that's awkward about Gilded Landsknecht in this matchup is the Yam, right? It's like, you can very easily get Benny Hills with that strategy.
It is, but I really like the army composition of just mass horsemen and gilded Landsknechte, because you can always just front with the gilded horsemen, and unlike normal horsemen, the gilded horsemen don't immediately like flop whenever they meet spearmen. They can actually run past spearmen or run through them, and once the spearmen are like behind the horsemen, they're just getting surrounded by the Landsknechte and the horsemen. They just die instantly.
Yeah, it's like you just shove your spear in and snap it off. You're like, wait, what? How are you not dead? All of a sudden, big salami slicer in the back. I mean, it's powerful. It's definitely very expensive, and you have to remember there's going to be trade as well. But that's where I think the horseman, you're onto something there, right? Like, that's going to be your blocker to the Mongol greed. We'll have to see if that's the way he wants to play us, though. VortiX, an infamously aggressive player, and Mongols is his OG Civ. So comfort through and through. We head into Frisian Marshes. VortiX of the Mongols, and Puppypaw looking to blow our minds and show us what the Order of the Dragon are capable of here.
All right, here we go. Let's see, what's Puppypaw's situation at the beginning here? Is he moving out to wood? Looks like he's starting off on wood. I mean the Mongols, so VortiX. Yeah, he is starting off on wood, so should be getting a production building or an early pasture in. I mean, this is a great spawn for him, at least when it comes to the Uvu. Gold-wise, he's going to have to move out quite a bit.
Yeah, this is always a little bit of a weird one, right? Like, getting a close Uvu like this, I don't know if you really want to pasture, because you just get so much sheep in the early game. Compared to, like, a Dry Arabia, it's almost like it's a D-value play. There's a lot more, like, credence to other openings, either a fast feudal or obviously going towards the racks. He's about to get the final wood drop-off, so we'll find out in a second. And
I feel like
timing's good to see his options.
Yeah, honestly, my personal opinion on this is I feel like that barracks opening up against Order of the Dragon just rarely works, because Order of the Dragon spearmen are so good, and you can mass them relatively easily, and with the economy behind it, chances are you're not going to win that fight. But maybe VortiX has something else in mind, or maybe VortiX just downright disagrees, because he is opening up with the barracks here.
The other thing, to your point, is like Order of the Dragon villagers themselves fight back really well. 15 more HP, 1 more base damage. They hit as hard as a spearman does, actually. So decent units are holding their own ground. Here we go. I think the spawn is too delicious to refuse. Like, you look at the gold spawns, he's got that one back. The other two are towards the Mongol player here. Could even look to drop an outpost to maybe deny the berries.
The Archon Chapel now coming in for Puppypaw. Just going to be in the back. Just next to Woodline and the food.
Yeah, so just the safe players expected.
That's all you need.
He could get the deer shove after this initial Mongol aggro, but there's probably a high probability that if nothing happens, the spears can just lame that deer.
Yeah. Oh, VortiX moving out. 2 spearmen and a villager.
Yeah, he stopped at 2.
We're going to see
Just
more
waiting for double
spears.
production.
Yeah, he's just going to double produce again. There we go.
Okay, check vision
He's
for
gonna
Puppypaw.
wait, or rather stop at the 4 spearmen. He's off wood now.
There is a spot, just like 50-50 between the gold and berries, where you could essentially harass both those resources. All right. Yeah, no, my mistake. I forgot. We're watching VortiX here. Let's not take the reasonable placement of the outpost. Let's just jam it right up in there.
I mean, with the outpost position here, he's also getting vision over like the entire top side, so Puppypaw can't sneak villagers out the top side.
VortiX is like that guy that you have a car crash with, right? And you get out and you go, you hit my car. Look what you've done. It's like, there's no damage. And he's like, oh, I hit your car, did I? And he just gets back in the car, reverses, and full-on floors it into the front bumper. It's so in his face. And is that an archer range reaction? Yeah, so
Yeah,
we're getting
it's getting rushed up quickly as well.
Wow. Okay, so this is going to be a
But
villager
the outpost's
pull.
going to finish, I think.
Yeah, so I think the idea is a villager pull to burn the outpost then, because, yeah, there's no way you'll get a gilded archer out fast enough here.
Is he? No, he's not pulling
Nah,
villagers.
there's no way.
Yeah, it's too late.
Silver tree
Villagery.
coming in.
We're getting
Well, I
trade,
mean,
boys.
You know what you could do down the line is, like, you could pull villagers down the line for the burn. Because 65 HP is hard for an outpost to arrow fire out. VortiX being a bit greedy, but obviously you can just min-max this, burn, garrison, repeat.
Yeah, but there's also still, like, emergency repairs, right?
Yeah. So, in other words, this was pointless.
A little bit. But it was an investment from Puppypaw.
Oh, I forgot.
And we
We're
do
watching
actually have the deer
Puppypaw.
lure behind. Yeah.
Yeah,
had to be.
it's 2TC.
Oh,
Wait,
okay, yeah.
we've
2TC
watched this
and
before.
a deer lure.
Wait, I
Maybe
feel
not a
we've-
deer lure. Maybe it's just gonna lure them to the TC then.
No, Crackety, we've seen this before.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Carmel.
going for 2TC. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
he's not going for the deer lure, like all the way to the main TC. He's just
Oh, no,
gonna
no,
put the
no.
secondary TC there.
But what I'm talking about is we've seen this matchup before. This was Puppypaw's Nightmare, if you remember, in the Anatan series. Different map, of
Oh
course.
yeah,
But,
yeah. It played out completely different at the beginning. To be
Yes.
fair,
but it was the 2TC beginning for Puppypaw.
yeah.
And I'm wondering, VortiX, like, the difference here is, like, it's going to be better for him economically than it was for Anatan that game, because we are talking about probably easily the best map in competitive rotation for Silver Tree.
Yeah. It is so, like, the enemy market is so far away from you.
Yeah.
It
And you
takes
should
a
do it.
long time to harass that trade.
I actually think in this matchup, because your opponent's going 2TC, and you know it, you could start off trading to his marketplace.
You could, at the beginning, like, first couple traders, 100%
Yeah.
you could.
I mean, I could get a little bit of interruption on the deer. Could actually, like,
Oh,
start.
he's actually luring 1 or 2 very far away.
It's like, bro, I meant to guard this area. And I'm going to
did my
hide in the Stealth
deer.
Forest.
TC is now up.
Ooh, safe trade. That isn't the VortiX, I know.
Man. What a waste.
Just an open
We
goal.
are getting
waiting to be
catching sit
shot,
now.
which
Wait,
is going to
Puppypaw
force
just gonna-
speeds.
What's Puppypaw's reaction here? He's moving away completely from wood. Is he just gonna go straight into Castle Age? Is he even getting the outpost up? Yeah, this feels like a Castle Age play now.
Okay. There's like an all-in timing on the second TC because of this, though, right? Like, as long as VortiX
There it
doesn't go
is.
too gung-ho with trade.
I mean, just a couple of traders are gonna be enough for VortiX to continuously pump out Kashix now.
So not exactly fully reminiscent of the Puppypaw Anatan game. Kind of reminds me a little bit
Yeah.
more of, was it Puppypaw Beastie? No, it was Beastie Wham, wasn't it? Where that was on Carmel as well, and it was a 2TC build. But Beastie went full French all-in. Now, obviously, this is kind of discount French when you think of the heavy cav. But similar target in mind. How much sheep did Puppypaw get?
Okay, the mining cap actually got burnt down.
Okay,
No
17.
emergency repair.
17 is decent here then. Like that's I think
Could
that's
be
more than enough for
Should
his
tide
play.
him over.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
Burgrave
I mean,
in
he's also
particular.
got the deer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely more than enough. But yeah, Burgrave play makes a lot of sense then as a follow-up. Kashix
VortiX
are gonna
is like,
arrive around the
what the
back to
hell?
find nothing.
He's like,
You-
you built
you don't want
an
woodmen?
Archon and you don't want like wood and farms? Brother? What is going on? So what's the rationale from VortiX? It looks like he's gonna be adding in the archers. At this point, he's got to be suspecting Fast Castle, right? Like the outpost on the ford
Yeah.
and the stay at the tree line. It should be pretty obvious at this stage. Maybe you mirror it now.
Question is, what can he really like do about it? Like Puppypaw even has enough resource for arrow slits in placement.
I think you could start to blob here and you mirror with maybe Kurotai. I mean, you've got Silver Tree, so step readout is already inherently kind of
Not the best.
disadvantage.
Yeah. Yeah, what makes a lot of sense. The age up is coming in fairly quickly now. Already has the resources.
Imagine if he just Regnets. Quickest way to
Oh,
lose
that
the
would be
game.
so greedy. Wait, is that in range of the Falcon? The position?
Check vision
Does VortiX
for
see this?
Vongols. No.
No, okay. He doesn't see.
Although, I think your villagers were seen walking off of the sheep. So if you glance that, then it's already a bit suspicious.
Yeah. Post does have the emplacement. Yeah, it's... VortiX can't fight this yet.
No, I think he's just trying to force a little bit out of time here or there. Make sure that
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a
there's some sort
blacksmith
of
yet, so
reaction.
he can't really ram push. Yeah, I think maybe follow-up is now also just age up as well. He's got
I
a good
feel-
couple of traders.
I feel like Ram Push is going to fall flat here anyway, right? Because of the E repairs. It would just be too slow.
Yeah.
Still, it's a decent comp to have scaling. Keshik's, of course, an obvious one. You could even think about adding in more archers for the Kurotai follow-up. And here comes the men-at-arms. The boys are going to be on their way. Against mass Keshiks, that is kind of worrisome, though.
We are getting another archer range in. Could be gilded crossbows. Now, remember, folks, gilded crossbows on ladder are currently bugged. They attack a lot quicker than they are supposed to. But we do have a tuning pack for that. So, for this tournament, the crossbows do attack with normal speed.
Congratulations. 10 more people just started abusing that bug on the ladder because you told them.
Oh, man.
Meant to do this. And anyone caught doing it will be persecuted to the full power of World's Edge law.
No, the local law. It's like...
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah. FBI is going to arrest you at the PC.
And that's like great when you look at the local country and then like in a country that's like super brutal crackdown laws. You're like, yeah, that guy's screwed. He's sweating right now in the basement. He's like, you're going to the gulag, buddy. Imagine being in there like, what did you do? I tried to overthrow my government. Whoa, okay. What about you? I murdered and wore someone's face as my face. Okay, well, what are you in here for? I built
crossbows as Order of the Dragon. Yeah. And they're like, what the fuck is Order of the Dragon?
You'll learn the order around here, little man.
Alright, Asia has come in now for VortiX. Still has a good amount of Keshiks, but Puppypaw, that's the thing with Burger, right? Like, it produces so quickly as well, for so cheap. Well, it's got a very good army mass with the technology lead still.
So, crossbow timing should be good enough because Puppypaw is just slow rolling this, right? He's waiting for critical mass to go in. And because it's Kortai, you know, if you add in the... Oh, wait, I just remember we didn't go Deerstone, so no Khan Hunter. So the Gilded Crossbowmen are going to be king here.
Yeah. A post now getting rid of.
Like he needs it. He's got so much gold still.
He does, but it's annoying, right? Like, he wants to go out, yeah, gotta go out, get the fish.
VortiX going to try to sneak in towards the second TC, but problem, second TC is now seat into Stealth Forest, so no sneaky.
Yeah. I mean, there's an outpost there as well.
Is outpost, yeah.
And
even without
Order of the Dragon outposts also see further.
For reasons, because, like, dragons fly and sky and stuff.
It makes sense, KP.
It does.
Yeah.
Like dragons fly. I really I agree. Like, oh,
The thing is that
falcons.
HRE gets us as well, and they don't have dragons, but we give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, but they're holies. They have God's eye in the sky, Crackety. You know, Jesus is always watching.
Eye in the sky. Yeah. That could be a villager going down. Maybe not. Nope. He just closed the door.
Wait right there. We will get you. Okay. I'm gonna go home now. Yeah, you do not want to fight these men-at-arms. You'd think Keshiks beat men-at-arms, but...
No, they do not. Not in this situation. Just looking at the stats, 290 health.
And the quicker attack
compared
speed.
to Keshik with less than 200. Yeah, Keshiks have less than 200 HP.
I mean,
even veterans see like 175.
Yeah, they barely have higher base damage than men-at-arms. Oh, Keshik life is so depressing.
Pretty much just half the HP. I mean, Keshiks are... Yeah, they're a weird unit for sure, by comparison. But yeah, the elite crossbows are just absolutely murdering them there.
I feel like elite.
Not elite, gilded. Yeah, they feel like elite for sure.
Like if you take
he's scaling his economy nicely. The question is, what do you prefer here? Like 2TC Order of the Dragon economy or Mongol trade? Because Mongol trade is still like very special with just how many resources you get. 30% on top, bonus movement speed.
And we're talking like special as in how this guy is kind of weird, but then he gets like a full scholarship into MIT and turns out he's actually solved like full thermonuclear physics and cured cancer. Like Mongol trade is king. And the other thing you have to keep in mind is like Puppypaw getting more villages has a problem. Limited resources which will be exhausted. Trade is infinite.
And even if there's a transition, right? Like for VortiX as Mongols, the food transition is so easy to pull off. Just a couple of pastures. That's the thing, right? Like whenever you build a farm, only one villager gets to work. Whenever you build a pasture, at least temporarily, you can have up to 8 villagers working again.
Yeah, it's very healthy food burst. And obviously between that, he's got all these fishing ponds to play onto, which he is extensively exhausting right now. And this is the crazy thing. Like Mongols, not a very good defensive set. But the problem with Puppypaw's comp is it's not really designed to raid.
Yeah. Now, something that VortiX could do in theory, and I'm gonna die on this hill, I think, like, in this matchup, you only need Mangadai to win.
Rogan?
Yep. 100% Rogan. Like, Mangadai only, even... That's the crazy thing. Like, even when you're up against Gilded Horsemen, even when you're up against +3 ranged armor archers, just Mangadai wins. When you get the upgrades in Imperial Age, it just wins, no matter what.
Okay, like in Imperial,
win.
sure. But like you have to get
in
there.
Imperial.
Yeah. Like I think the issue is getting there here.
I mean, look at the resources. VortiX could definitely get there.
He could. He could also get to the afterlife. This is a push from Puppypaw and a very strong one.
Yeah, now it is. I mean, at this point in time, VortiX has enough horsemen. Yeah, he's got already almost 20 horsemen.
Check Puppypaw's
20
vision.
crossbows.
He doesn't see this. This is Rohirrim right around the back.
Blind.
But the crossbows, they actually overextend and it works out for them. The men-at-arms!
Yeah, he's on the wrong side.
Are you kidding me right now? His over-aggression might save him. The horsemen wrap past, but they're getting stuck with the men-at-arms. This is getting messy. Horsemen...
army count, it's so much higher.
I mean, it's just not doing enough damage. The horsemen count. They're gone.
They're just gone. They're just gone.
And this is also even more awkward.
Wipe from the earth.
Where is the Korzai? He didn't even use it.
It's in the base. It's next to TC.
I am speechless at this. I can't believe it. VortiX now resorting to Mangonels, but it's going to have to be Magashnell because you have to build him fast. I don't think he's got enough time for this play.
And now the trade, it's getting interrupted. Right at the source.
Just cut off. He can even wrap into the fishing out of that out as well. He's got more than enough men-at-arms to burn down any type of outpost defense. Well... Behind this, Puppypaw, it's already 2 relics home. At this rate, it's easily going to be 5. And also, don't forget, Inspired Warriors Tech is waiting to happen. He's already got 5 with 4 more products queued up. That type of buff feels unbeatable here. VortiX, worshipping the Mangonel gods, goes in for a wallop. A decent start here. But Men-at-Arms...
Not be enough, though.
Maybe too high on the numbers.
Osman from the backside as well. Crossbows are doing good against the Men-at-Arms.
Does push away the crossbows. Men-at-Arms now V-Expos of the Mongols. The Mangoes are actually running into the Mangoes. Into the Men-at-Arms, rather.
Men-at-Arms, yeah.
Okay, so he gets 1. I don't think this is enough. Nah, this looks cooked at this point. VortiX...
It's cooked.
He's got barely any crossbows left. And remember, like, food, the only reason this player keeps working for now is food. But the amount of farms, or amount of fishing close by... is limited now. So he's got big gaps in his economy, not too far in his future. Can we maybe...
last line of defense with the crossbows.
You know what would make a great last line of defense is a Kurotai, but that thing has not moved. It's...
Yeah, it's been standing there.
Yeah, it's chained itself to the TC, singing, we shall not be. But the reality is the thing that will not be moved is Puppypaw. The traders aren't getting through at all anymore.
Yeah, no more gold. Boots running low. And the Men-at-Arms are gone, but they're just getting replaced now by Landsknechte.
I think this is an interesting idea for VortiX. It's just crazy to think how different that fight would have been with a Kurotai. The crazy part as well is like Puppypaw.
He just noticed.
He calls GG, but like this game that came down to that one fight over the blacksmiths, right? And crazy thought, I would have to go back to check 10 seconds beforehand to guarantee it. I don't think Puppypaw ever saw those horsemen. That was just...
Yeah, he didn't.
Insanely aggressive.
Like, moving... Yeah.
Being rewarded.
Just... I mean, it makes sense to move the crossbows forward. They have so much range. Like, they're never going to trade worse against a ranged unit.
Absolutely incredible. We have got quite the series now. Puppypaw leading, which... we mentioned historically, this matchup heavily favors Puppypaw. 80% win rate. VortiX, I mean, I don't think he's going to roll over and die. I think this is, I want to say almost like a Canadian special. They play Order of the Dragon a very different way to most other players.
Yeah, here in this one, economy-focused way, even against Mongols. Like, typically, when you're up against Mongols trade, you feel a lot of urgency when it comes to reacting to that. Puppypaw here, he took his time. He bided his time, went up with the Burgrave play, and just pushing across. Yeah, Cruel Tide not being used, that definitely did hurt a lot. Honestly, I still think that there was a timing to just skip out completely on Castle Age and just immediately go Imperial. But yeah, I mean, this is the fight, like, with the crossbows, as you mentioned, just on the other side from the men-at-arms. It's so crazy just how quickly those horsemen got completely evaporated by them.
I do wonder if maybe VortiX, like, if you looked back at this and you asked him, will he say, oh, yeah, I didn't need to take it here. I could have pulled it back like 6 or 7 tiles. Because, like, that area, he didn't have anything come in the blacksmiths from what I can recall. So it wasn't that he was defending attack timing. And you are now trying to run a horseman into blacksmith, stone outcropping, and gold, right? You're creating choke points for yourself.
I remember there was an upgrade coming through, but yeah, in the end, it's just like so much military here with the Burgrave spam. It's, I don't know, I think maybe he just kind of felt forced to take a fight because he had like a, in theory, favorable engagement with coming out of the Stealth Forest, but then, yeah, just the unit positioning, the Cruel Tide not being there, didn't work out in the end there for him.
So when I see plays like that, I'm always reminded of the good old Dota 2 days. So a hero called Marana would throw an arrow. It's a skill shot. And the further it goes, the more damage and the more stun it does. The whole idea is like, you do the maths in your head. You're like, his movement speed is this, and he'll be here at this point, and you throw it. And then for some reason, no good reason, they just turn a different way, right? Like, it's that level of feeling. You know, you've had it probably skill shots in different types of games where it's like, it doesn't make sense. There should not be crossbows.
Why aren't you there?
Leading. Yeah, why aren't you playing your comp optimally? And it just completely flips you over. I mean, just well played to Puppypaw, though. Really good timing, reminding us that Order of the Dragon, you know, I feel like it's fallen off in popularity for a lot of players, but we've seen the Canadians in particular value it still quite highly.
Yeah, I think players are mostly like looking at Order of the Dragon as a civilization that used to go Pro Scout and doesn't go Pro Scout anymore. But honestly, like, Order of the Dragon, even before the Pro Scout meta, I rate them fairly highly, and I think they still do excel at things that they excelled at before, even more so now in some situations, because they did receive some buffs here and there. But they can still, like, early on, just move villagers out and start on the deer a little bit further out. It's completely fine with them. The villagers are just really, really efficient overall. Next up, though, we're going to be seeing Zhu Ji's Legacy up against Malians. And, okay, I think, like, this matchup, it's a very interesting one because we're probably going to see Pro Scouts from Zhu Ji's Legacy into an all-in. It's going to be interesting to see if Mali can deal with that, or if it's going to be like a Farimba or Grand Filani Corral response there.
Yeah, curious to see if he tries to be a little bit greedy himself. Let's find out. We're hopping into game number 3. Puppypaw currently leading this best of 7 2-1. Is going to be VortiX trying to lash back with the formidable Zhu Ji. Meanwhile, Puppypaw leans into the Malians. A strong pick for him, considering this is the first pick of his draft. And that is a pretty good spawn.
I mean, the gold is very far away, but yeah. Having both golds there, but means you don't need to spread your army too far apart.
Very wallable tree line as well, so like poke raids, maybe from horsemen or lancers down the line might be hard to hit.
There's no like Dark Age aggression from Zhu Ji's Legacy, they rarely go for that anyways.
Yeah. And there needs to be a jackpot here. I'm looking for it on the mini-map. There doesn't look like there's any insane meditation gardens nearby. I feel like Lipany recently hasn't been delivering them as much anymore.
I think like in the middle there might be some good spots, like stone gold berries. Yeah. Somewhere around the side. Like this is a large berry spot as well. Like that one's pretty good. Issue is there's a boar. Yeah, it's very far. There's a boar.
So maybe he just goes for the berries on the east side. If he goes Pro Scouts, I don't like. This is the thing. Like back in the olden days, we were always looking for berries, but ever since Pro Scouts, I don't think Zhu Ji cares about that as much anymore. If you give them like a double gold, they'll be happy. We can do
It's
double
always
stone.
going to come in at one point or the other, though. I don't know. I'm personally still a fan of having berries, especially when it's like the large berries, like 50 resource per minute, always feels better than 25. And you still have like like great means of getting the other resources other ways. Like just put another villager onto gold then.
It's like it's definitely better on the food, but it's 36 compared to 48, right? So it's like it's not as
The
crazy.
issue here
as,
is the walking distance.
Yeah, and that's the thing I think players start to value is like it's just it doesn't feel worth it because at the early point in the game where you're building that meditation garden, even if you just pull one villager, that's almost 10% of your economy. And in this case, it's going to be free. So yeah, he keeps it short, keeps it simple. He's going to move out into the berries and the gold and get some wood as well.
Yeah, that's fine. Not the greatest, not the worst.
I can't hear "This Is Fine" now without seeing that clear, obscure scene of the guy in the flaming house.
Wait. Do they have that scene there as well?
Yeah. There's a
fine.
village where they just like have a bunch of different memes, and one of them is just a guy, and it like they have very dopey voices, and in French it says "This is fine" while the whole house is on fire.
I've been all up in a work project at the moment. I haven't even looked at Claire Obscure. I don't even
Just
know.
avoid
the name.
spoilers. Enjoy it. And my favorite meme around it is, do I need to play Claire Obscura 1 to 32 first? It's such a random name. But focus a little bit more back towards AoE4. I do wonder if we are going to be seeing pro scouts out of Puppypaw. Because like the weird thing when you play Malians is even if you don't intend towards it, it's either that or javelins just because of how absurd your gold count gets early on.
You can deny resource with it, and we do see the early mill coming in, so it would make sense for Puppypaw to go into that play. Either that, or this mill could be for quick cow build as well. Both is very possible. Like Mali into like just normal cattle boom. Again,
Does
Shrew's
that
Legacy,
feel-
like Shrew's Legacy is going to delay themselves. Like it's not going to be a fast cast stage for Shrew's Legacy if they're going to go for pro scouts.
Does it feel like you can actually get away with just the whole ranch in? Like if VortiX then saw that, could he just react with an all-in feudal?
I don't think you can really all-in feudal that quickly, because you can just, when you see additional production buildings coming up from Shrew's Legacy, what you do is you just stop making cows.
Wait. So just to clarify, you're allowed to stop making cows?
Yeah, you don't have to make 20 before you do your next move.
Okay, but like when you say stop making cows, you mean stop at like 19?
Depends. You can stop at 18. You can stop at 1.
Whoa. Calm down. Next, you're going to tell me that there are players out there that only build 3 manas.
What's the translation for the SpongeBob clip, learning to drive and always going full throttle? Does
Wait,
he
the
say full throttle?
I think he says full throttle.
Full throttle, Mrs.
'cause
Puff?
You've confused me looking for the translation there. Were you about to yell it in German at me?
Yes. Of course. You know, every cartoon is translated in German. But you don't want to hear the German translation. You don't want to hear the German translation.
What are you in about? Some of them are great, like Preacher Engine.
No, this one you don't want to hear. We'll leave it at that.
Ooh. Okay, Puppypaw is adding in Musafadi.
Okay.
Why?
I mean, right now there's only melee units. Might as well.
Yeah.
Like, Musafadi's actually trade better than normal spears up against spearmen.
Does he maybe suspect the other PG play as well? Like, that does make quite a lot of sense against Malians, right? Does it?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in general just to have it, but also because you're able to chase down spearmen with the additional movement speed. If they run across, they can't run away anymore. But he kind of stopped. He's now switching into just Donzos. And there are also horsemen coming in.
Maybe VortiX is trying to play around the timing to burn onto the pit mines here. Does make sense. You kind of feel like a poor man's Ghazi Raider when you do this. Meantime, the spear upgrades are coming in. Puppypaw has just been forwarding without actually having any hardened status here.
We do have the cattle transition behind us now, up to 4 already.
Is he just... Yeah, I was about to say, is he trying to bait Chugnu and switch javelins? Because, like, this begs to be repeater crossbowed.
I mean, Puppypaw and Wham, they are like notorious for just going into this big ball of infantry blob, and there it is. Archer range now coming in, yeah. Just gonna get the big old mass of Donzos and javelin throwers. Army composition in.
Looks like he's looking for just enough to protect him while he continues towards the Fulani timing. So you can see it's greedy, but with the way he's fording to VortiX, this is just forcing him to kind of anchor down and play more defensive, which VortiX hates to do.
Count is scaling nicely here at the moment for VortiX. Puppypaw, I think he's gonna need additional archer ranges to pump out enough javelin throwers in time.
Yeah, one is pretty greedy here. I mean, you do have the Donzo variant shot, but... And you could argue that Chug is not going to really dive you that quick. Very immobile unit. It's like, maybe not too much to freak out about at this point, but obviously if he doesn't prep more javelins, there's a likelihood he loses the pit mines, which... At that point, you're probably not going to be able to afford the Fulani rush.
Positioning can be very difficult with Jugunu because they are that slow.
Yeah, especially
like when you find yourself on the retreat, you're gonna lose a lot of them.
Exactly. Like it's it reminds me of Lombos, but Lombos at least have the opportunity to get first strike when they are like overextended.
I get a little bit more range with the Shuganu tech, but doesn't really feel like it's enough. And it looks like VortiX is now flirting with the idea of Castle Age as a follow-up. Just made a couple of units, maybe baited, try to bait Puppypaw a little bit.
We've got a reinvestment. So he's holding some reserves, so maybe somewhat aware. But I'm not sure how I
now
feel
he's
about this.
reinvesting.
Yeah, this is crazy because he backed all the way up while reinvesting. So there's no immediate strong dive coming in here.
Are these mind games, I wonder?
I think he's trying to hide the play, and that's big. He just sniped the scout, so Puppypaw is now riding blind.
Oh yeah, just start luring them 9 minutes into the game.
Of course, the reason why I built 15 military. Yeah, like, because deer shoves are hard, so why not make it easier on yourself and just build a full feudal army?
Exactly.
Puppypaw was like, this is a foreign feeling. It's almost 10 minutes into the game and someone hasn't killed all my deer. Well, time to give him a reason to.
I don't want them out there. I want them in here.
Yeah, I feel like for their own safety, they just need to come back to my village and climb in our big industrial oven. For their own safety, of course, Crackety.
The deer are cold outside. Bring them in. Heat them up.
But, like, don't warm them up too much. Like, medium rare warmth, you know?
Exactly. Venison. Always nice to have. And there it is, Grand Fulani Corral. Just with 12 cattle, but that's already enough for a really, really good food income. VortiX, he's still playing with the idea of Castle Age now behind this, but he messed up a couple more units. There's still going to be a rough timing for him to hit, because sure, he's got deer, but that's not really like a scaling factor for your economy. It's a boost, a temporary boost, but not a scaling factor.
And the timings are so much worse than they once were that it no longer really feels like a Venison VD Vici moment. It's like the Pro Scouts win rate has been slowly etching downwards as people have figured out new, more optimal builds. And I think some of them being more fast castle oriented. We've seen some 2 TCs actually working out more recently. Just a lot more diversity on the field. But I feel like for Shushi, they're still kind of stuck in this as either all in Chug or you play for Pro Scouts.
You can definitely still go for 2 TC play as well.
That's true,
with
yeah.
Shushi's Legacy. Yeah, they do have some nice bonuses around that. Something else to keep in mind is that with Shaolin Monastery, chances are VortiX going to get a good amount of relics in. Maybe you can, in theory, go for play into pagodas with Yuan Dynasty.
We'll see if it's quick enough.
In as well.
Because we have got a counter to all on the way. Sofas are starting to be produced. Does need to vet them up first, so it might be that he needs to just kind of sacrifice on the pit mine. Again, it's a decent number of Donzo Javs. Not too many torches.
Uganu actually getting a decent couple of shots in there.
Yeah,
take one of the javelin throws out.
The only thing missing now is the Sofas. Once that upgrade's there, he should be able to just kind of like front into the fight. He's taking a slow poke approach, but that is going to allow VortiX to upgrade his backline.
Mine does get taken down. It doesn't feel that great when you think about it, because he just destroyed like 150 resource worth of value. and lost like 4 units for it.
The trade-off, though, is you kept your opponent in his base while you should now be rushing relics, right? Like, first Monk is out, second one to come. So I think for VortiX...
I don't think that's a big point, because Puppypaw wants to mass, then move out.
True, but, like, if there's no threat to your base, do you not just rush the Sofa out into the middle of the map? Because, like, he's got to be aware of the castle timing into relics.
Yeah, the issue is it's still not up to Puppypaw to make something happen at the moment. Like, Puppypaw's the one with a firm lead. He scaled. Like, even though VortiX has Deer, Puppypaw's food income is even if not more.
Well, VortiX, it is going to start to be a bit of lance spam coming in, but he's respecting the threat of the Sofa, so crossbows to layer the cake as well. First Sofa, I'm going to start arriving. Well, spin and interception is good, so good block there by VortiX. No sword for Puppypaw. I wonder if we see him try to rush into the relics now as well. Doesn't feel like it.
I think he's just gonna mass up sofas, and this is the point of in the game where Zhuji and China both struggle. This is when mobility becomes their doom because they just don't have it.
Yeah, and it used to be the solution to that before Season 9 is wall everything. Now, outside a few exclusive players, much more difficult to do in these games.
X is going for Jiangnan Tower, so he's getting Song Dynasty. And it means that he might need to go for farm, or like want to go for farm transition soon. As he will get a nice discount on all of his economy buildings.
Second relic to be banked. He's also got the third one on the way, so looking really good so far for VortiX. We are in a fragile state. Wait, it's been a while. Hello? Didn't expect to see this today.
So, just because we see it that rarely, I'm going to go over it. Jiangnan Tower, as a bonus, acts as a drop of building for taxes, and every time you build a production building, you get 1 free feudal age unit, whether it be early palace guard, horseman, or Jugunu.
Yeah, and it's produced
and in theory,
twice the speed,
you can just... Yeah. It's quite quickly. It's quite... Like, they come out very, very quickly. Now, you don't really save up resource, but you also get production buildings in.
Exactly, and like it's most efficient with stables, because with stables you get a horseman, which is a 120 resource unit, whereas the other production buildings is only an 80 resource unit. But either way, you're essentially half pricing your production buildings, if not better.
Yeah. The issue is now, if he goes for Yuan Dynasty now, he's going to lose out on the Song Dynasty bonus, which is just objectively stronger than Yuan Dynasty.
Lol, doink.
Gets a 9.
Sometimes you sweat. You're like, I'm confident there's enough time, but is it enough time? And he is actually leaning to those horsemen. So answer to the archers, and then I guess, what, you can just use the horsemen to body block the sofas, so crossbows can win as well?
Yeah, they definitely can. I mean, now with all the bonus armor in as well. Sofas are also just incredibly fast. A bit faster than normal knights as well.
Now, the good thing for VortiX to counter that is where you can play towards. I am a bit worried about where he places his farms, but in terms of raw resource access, there's a lot of gold on the west side where you've also got those cliff sides. So a very defendable area, very easily wallable as this game fleshes out a little bit more.
VortiX, it looks like he's going to get all 5 relics, but yeah, Puppypaw's economy still not up to 20 out of 20 cattle. And food income has slowed down a little bit. I think he depleted his own deer. He has the ranches. He still has room. There should be some more cattle coming in soon.
Yeah, so I think the third pit mine goes up and they can easily afford that. And we finally have imported armor.
Imported armor.
Wow,
yeah,
that's a big deal.
Been a while.
I mean, you just assume it's there instinctively in most games, especially when someone has 23 sofas.
Oh, the army gets found out in the middle. The archers, they're left alone.
Yeah, the rest of the army's still running away.
Find them at a perfect moment. Yo, but now Puppypaw is making use of that. He's just going to let the archers go down, and the sofas are going to go for raids. The entire army's out of position there.
Yeah, just enough sofa to keep him at bay. He still doesn't have the imported armor, so needs to make sure he doesn't fully commit into this. But there's a dive into the tree line. VortiX, a little bit slow on the reaction. There's no easy, quick reaction to this, though. The move speed, he's not getting through it.
He's not going back. Look at the villager count. He's losing everything.
We've seen this before. It's so difficult against Malians because of that passive income from the ranchers as well. It's not enough to idle villages. VortiX needs a way of taking the ranchers out as well. Sofas are cutting the reinforcements. The eco lead is building. VortiX shows no signs of going home.
He's going all in, but these are some hefty, hefty losses. He just lost 9 villages there.
Horseman wave looks good. It's going to be a retreat deeper into the base. A handful of Donzos to defend. The Sofas are moving towards the food income. He's got a few troops to block that out, but they're not going to survive. The bonus against the infantry too much and dive now on to the deer gatherers. And still, those ranches uncontested. New Sofas now arriving to forward for the defense force. And VortiX is running out of time.
Once your front line goes down, you also don't have any more torches to take down the ranches afterwards.
It's only a handful of horsemen left, and it's still Donzos to be cleared. It just feels like there's not a timing to dive quick enough here. He's going to try for it now, but there's so little left of this.
Poison arrows now coming as well. A couple of remaining horsemen fall down on the retreat. Now he still has the army lead, but yeah, just so many villages down. Economy is still untouched for Puppypaw.
I mean, you could just rally home now with the Sofas and sandwich this, I think. Well, actually, it's maybe like, what, 10, 15 crossbows here? Yeah, I think...
He lost a lot of the Sofas. He needs to remass, but overall, the situation right now is so good for Puppypaw.
He's actually going to go for it. Check this. Sofas locking the retreat. So he has to go for the sandwich attack. Just wants the entire army or most of it wiped because he knows economically he's now a mile ahead.
Sofa still following up, and now the poison arrow archers. I mean, the Jugunu, the crossbows, they're too slow. They can't really get away.
I mean, how do you now recover from this, right? Like, it is 5 relics, but they only do so much against full Lani. That's right, 20 cows in total now garrisoned. And what is a continuously extending lead, and it might even go higher because VortiX is now being forced into desperate moves. You do see that correctly, a mill to be built on those berries, where Puppypaw is now pushing.
Heights in theory makes sense against the units out. Donzos have been pretty much wiped out. It's just such an expensive unit. Granted, VortiX, he does have gold to spare. With 5 relics, it makes a lot of sense to go for this gold expensive unit. It's just the food, and yeah, the question, does he have enough access to food?
It doesn't look very good from here. He's having to play berries in this area, and he just doesn't have the additional pump. Tune count now down to 5, which means the archers and the Malians are going to be kings. And look at those villagers rushing out. This is just death's door that he's staring at right now. The lead continues to build. The Lancers are also revealed at their infancy. Only 2. That's not going to work against poison.
Puppypaw giving up on the berries here. The question is, where else can he go now? I mean, VortiX, where can he go? He's got some berries left here.
How much deer is on the left side? He missed something. I don't know. I think it's probably like 1, right?
1, maybe.
Yeah, in the Stealth Forest. Happy clappers. We also have Military Academy, so Puppypaw's additional pump is just going to be competitive, even against supervision. And reminder, this is all the Lancers. He's got 4 more in queue, but in terms of what is able to front for the army, this is it.
Puppy now also tripling the food income.
Safety food just going so far. Reminder that this is Song Dynasty, but there's just no reserves for that transition that VortiX desperately needs.
Yeah, I mean, he's got no wood. The woodline villagers, when they went down, he's not really able to replace them.
Seem to screw the whole plan.
Comes in, but just not enough. And now the reinforcements are coming in, already back up to 7 Sofas. If they're here, if they arrive, front line goes down.
There's barely any crossbows left. I think he's got, what, 4, 5 crossbows max here? Maybe 6. But that's not going to last long. He calls it. GG comes out. Puppypaw swiftly moving on to match point. 1 more loss for VortiX, and it will spell the end of his Elite Classic free run.
Yeah, this was a super close game overall, but just looking at the economy count, those cattle coming in, and it really played itself like the matchup did. I want to say just before the Pro Scout meta, where Mali, they just cowboom, and Juji, if they don't go for the all-in in Feudal Age or for second TC, they just never find the connection afterwards in order to keep up with Malians.
Well, and elegantly executed by Puppypaw, I think. The way he'd done that, it looked like VortiX was going for the all-in a little bit earlier than this, right? And then we saw him pull back. We did question what the thought process was. Maybe he was trying to mask the play of that all-in. But, I mean, you're talking about these two players playing and thriving in their personal roles. You did mention in this matchup, like, historically, Malians could feel quite good against this type of comp from Sushi. And I think that's the thing about why Puppypaw also valued the Malians as a first pick. If you think about the way he was able to play this game up until Castle, it was full comfort. You just sit there and say, well, you come to me, right? Like, I'm going to keep scaling Javelins and Donzos, and the longer I get to do it, the better I'm going to feel.
Exactly. I mean, it's just all this passive food, all the passive gold. It makes it so easy to scale your army while pressuring your opponent into doing something. Like, they have to make something happen. You can just sit safely inside of your base until there's like a second TC or anything like that. You don't really have to feel a need to move out. Except, though, we're going to be looking at Gorge, and it's going to be Byzantines up against China.
Talk to me about this matchup a little bit and what we expect to see, because there was a time where Byzantines had a pretty insane play into China, right? With the kind of longbow all-in to counter like Nesta B spears, Blanche Neck follow-up, etc. But Pro Scouts really put a damper on that. I feel like China was on top of the world against Byzantines. But we're talking about a new meta, one where Pro Scouts isn't as free as it once was. And Gorge is a map that has a habit of making you feel secluded against all-ins.
China overall, it's very strong in this matchup as well. If pretty much whatever Byzantines go for, if they want to move out onto the map, because China, unlike Zhuji, they can make archers and they can scale them very, very effectively. And with archers, you're going to be able to catch up to and take out Midnight. If they go for longbows, you're going to be able to easily outmass them and just take them out very quickly as well. Pro Scout also helps you out a ton, and just in general, like the scaling from China, it's not quite as strong as Five Cisterns, but it comes in a lot earlier. That's
true. But there is maybe a thought that because the person's going into Pro Scouts, right, that gives you the wiggle room to get away with the initial assistance. Maybe there's an argument that you can't be quick enough in the dive. I am curious to see how he wants to try and approach this. I mean, Puppypaw has been known to be an absolute menace when it comes to his Chinese pick. One of his best in his roster. I feel like when you think of Puppypaw, you're probably thinking, like, what, China, maybe Mongols, and I think, well, probably what we just saw with the Malians. Or the Dragon as well.
Yeah, China, Mongol, Mali, I think those are like some of the main civilizations. Rus, but that's typically gets banned.
Yeah, like everyone is like, yeah, I can do the Rus. If you're going to let me get it, I'll happily take it. At this point, it's like saying, yeah, I can play HRE. No, I feel like my cat can play HRE at this point. It's pretty good.
I'm wondering if we're going to get something similar from Byzantines this time around than we did earlier with like the early Dark Age opening.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, because
especially on Gorge, since the gold is far away from the TC. So you know that you could do damage.
And then you could go and shove his deer further away from his base, right? Kind of slowing down the Pro Scouts timing, which could enable the system down the line. Protects you against a rush from your opponent. Not that I'm expecting to see that. I feel like most players want to do the no IO build, which means no Rax rush.
Something that I'm personally a fan of is, even in the current meta, like, you can perfectly fine play China without Pro Scout. Be perfectly fine with that. On many maps, you can secure the deer just with the Barbican as well. And typically there are other resources next to the deer and just move out that way. And then you're already in Song Dynasty, scaling's on your side, and that can help a lot.
Yeah, that used to be a pretty popular play on this map for China. The dream was when, if you look at the little icon we got on the map, if you got the deer that blue did, because when you're against like Delhi, for example, you get a Barbican next to a sacred site and on the deer, you loved life. And even if it's not against Delhi, like the value of covering that central route, getting full vision there, cannot be overstated.
Exactly. Just taking so much map control there and kind of directing your opponent, saying, okay, you cannot take the most optimal path to my base. You have to go around the sides. And I'm also, like, chances are I'm going to be aware of your movement that way.
Yeah, it's why I also kind of rate Imperial Palace on this map in particular, because of the valley making you feel so secluded. That vision radius is great against raiding type civs. A lot better on this map than I say certain other ones that you feel more defended on your initial extensions. But folks, it is time. We're hopping into game 5. We're hopping with some eagerness here because the NA dream is staying alive. Puppypaw is the only person from that region standing in the top 8. And right now, he has VortiX by the long and curlies. Match point just within reach of him. He goes to his 6 Chinese. On the other side, VortiX will be looking to contest with his Byzantines.
Yeah, this time no Dark Age barracks coming in from the Byzantines. We do instead have the 2 villagers immediately out on stones, so early system scaling is going to be coming in.
Yeah, VortiX, I mean, yeah, I was about to say, it's going to be the second one moving over. Yeah, he likes to do it this way, where he just uses the secondary to build the system. It's nice, it's smooth. I really rate this type of play highly for the 5 system scaling. I've seen some people go for just 1, but it feels very difficult to actually get the initial aggression point in lieu of that, right? Like, because if you go 2 on system, you're essentially saying, I can't attack you that early. I don't feel like I've seen many people with the 1 system instead find that early value point, because obviously the system changed. The nerf point was meant to be that first wave of mercenaries is notably slower.
It is. Issue is everything after that is a lot quicker. And I mean, we've seen it in the last couple of games. It's so difficult to kill Byzantines, even if when you like kill villagers, the rest of the economy is just so strong. It is really strong. So definitely going to be interesting to see what the approach is going to be here from Puppypaw, whether it is going to be like an economy or military approach to the game. I mean, looking at the map layout as well, like there's a really good Barbican spot to the left side of the gold. Protect the deer, protect like stone indirectly, berries, the entire upper half of the map, honestly. You can extend that out with walls, and I really think you don't need pro scouts here, but Puppypaw chose to not go with the early IO opening. So I don't think it's going to be a rush to Song Dynasty.
No, and this is playing the normal way we'd expect, with 2 still in the gold, force you into the initial taxman, then the taxation helps get you towards pro scouts, and then you rush a few people into the wood for the optimal time of stables. Can shove these deer in much closer, which will kind of just optimize the move across to the enemy deer. The VortiX, Grand Winery already in the way. Berry spawn's kind of a mixed bag for him. That forward one is a disaster, but he has got a very safe one to the west here with the boar.
That's very balanced, I want to say. He's also got a good amount of sheep here following his scout. It's good that his main berry spot isn't like far forward, like his first berry spot. It's to the side, and with the placement of the Grand Winery, like it's very fine having some olive groves there between the TC and the winery. Gonna be relatively safe.
I wonder, do you think Puppypaw is going to play that mass archer strat here? I'm trying to think if he does it that often. I think everyone's done it a bit, but there's some players that I get into a Chinese game and I'm like, yeah, it's probably going to be mass archers. For example, like Anatan does it to a criminally high degree.
I think it depends. Like, it's probably going to be more like a reactionary play, like when he sees what type of unit VortiX makes. Because we've seen it time and time again with Byzantines, like they just make Limitna, and behind it they're going for that Castle Age transition behind it. And if you go into archers, you really heavily, like, depending on how many you make, you heavily delay your own age up timing.
Oh, third assistant now already coming in. This is, it's weird because in some ways you'd think it would be bad to add systems this early because like percentile increase is not so impactful when count is low. But it's deceptive in that way, right? Like if you have a villager lead, even if it's small, so early on, there's a kind of understated ripple effect. Like you're able to produce, you know, double the units your opponent does at this stage. That's crazy. If I have 4 units, you only have 2, I can just essentially overwhelm you in the fights.
And the upgrades also coming in very, very quickly. You get a blacksmith in, upgrade suddenly only taking like 30 seconds.
Important in this matchup as well, considering that China is one of the most optimized civs for blacksmith timings, courtesy of supervision. And that macro, I mean, this is, okay, I was about to say, this is either fast castle or this is going to be a play into a Barbican. Now that convinces me. This looks like pro scouts.
Starting off with the spears, but yeah, villagers. Actually, he doesn't have any villagers on gold. He's just getting passively through taxes at the moment.
Yeah, because you're rushing on the wood. Because he begins with the racks, he now needs to adjust for like the stables if he wants PS. So I think timing's there. Can we check the mill? Wait, no, he is.
Oh, no, he's moving out.
Oh, he's cooking.
There we go. We're getting the
though.
Barbican rush now.
This is wheelbarrow.
I mean, wheelbarrow would... Yeah, this makes sense. Like, wheelbarrow would delay you so long.
True.
From a timing point of view. Like,
Oh,
200 resources when the age up itself is 600.
He's going to stay here and
Yes.
gather the deer.
He is. And this makes perfect sense. Like, this is really, really good timing. He's not just going to shut down the berries, but also the gold.
This is almost poetic when you think about it, right? Like, this could be the most aggressive quick game of the series, and the more defensive player, at least historically out of these two, is going to be the aggressor. And look at that. Yeah, he's posturing.
Yeah. And the thing is, well, this is going to mean Song Dynasty is coming up next. He can, from here on out, go into Juganu and just go for a ram push.
Does VortiX not realize it? Because, like, why are the spears here? Like, what is the goal
He
of
sees
this?
it now.
You need to rush it. The problem is he already activated Akratoy, so by the time he'd reach the villagers, he'd barely have any of the buff left.
It's archers in as well. And VortiX, he did go for the longbows.
Yeah, but they're going to take time. It's only, what, level 4 system, I think, just kicked in, so probably about, what, 35 seconds?
Stables now coming in as well.
And the deer are far away from the Barbican. That is one negative of what Puppypaw have done with the lane. But now he can look to set up additional infrastructure. He's already got his own archers here. And it is going to be pro scouts just on a delay. What? It's like he's being
That's
aggressive, but
interesting.
also not, right? Like, this is a very interesting curveball to throw with a Barbican drop.
Yeah, Aqueduct's getting kind of stretched out here. Spearmen are going to get picked off by some of the longbows now.
I don't think he suspects the deer gathering, though. Can we check his vision?
Yeah,
He
deer
shouldn't see
gathering
anything
is an interesting response.
Yeah, but it's deer gathering
Or rather,
and
follow-up.
pro scouts, right? Like, you expect one, but both is crazy.
Outpost there as well. Keep the villagers safe on the side.
Oh, you know what he could turn this into? You keep the villagers here gathering deer. You go for like a semi-fast castle, and you just drop racks into Palace Guard.
You could. You could also go for a forward clock tower. That's something that we've seen in the past as well.
That's true. There are horsemen to potentially address that, though. VortiX is trying to flood them.
It's getting
this
a
is so
lot of
annoying.
them out now.
The good news is actually because it's so close to your base, I think Byzantines is one of the best civs at clearing this due to the efficiency of Akira Siphon. Like, you can keep it very safe near your base, just poke in, move away. Because normally, having to deal with a Barbican feels like a game ender this early on. You need at least 3 rams, and it takes what feels like a century. That's right, though. Horsemen are going to move out. And he will see the pro scouts. Like, what are you guys doing
Is he not
here?
supervising it? Like, Pro Scout's taking a long time now, mind he is supervising it now. Oh, Scout is going to survive.
VortiX is poking at the deer gathering. He just moved the longbows around the south side, so he'd managed to find a worker kill. Might be able to find more here.
And VortiX behind this, he's just going up to Castle Age now.
I mean, so's Puppypaw, right? Like, it's not as quick, but then again, he'll make
Kinda,
up for it
he's
in the
off
build
gold.
speed.
Yeah.
Just enough spears and horsemen to push that away, and then I imagine a rush out onto the gold. Longbows are proven to be a pain in the ass, so maybe VortiX, do you look to rush relics for this? Could this be some sort of cataphract opening to get pressure on the other side?
A couple of cataphracts would be absolutely amazing here. Just because, like, right now, Puppypaw, there aren't that many units in. And cataphracts would just absolutely wipe the floor with everything. Unit-wise. Could go... Nah, it doesn't make sense to go for Gulp at all. There we go, Golden Horn Tower comes in. Already has enough olive oil to go for another group of longbows.
And of course, has the level 5 systems, so the acceleration on production courtesy of Conscripto is going to be huge here. Oh, he's reinvesting. Puppypaw, I'm starting to wonder if he's realizing what's happening. Like, does this feel like a good
He must,
comp
like,
to
he
punish?
sees the gold. He sees the gold, so he must know what's going on. There is no reason for VortiX to have like 8-10 villagers here on gold for such a long time.
Can you actually make this work as an all-in to punish the Byzantines, though? Or does it feel like he's got too much economy to work with once he techs?
To say, we talked about, right, like Golden Horn Tower, it's worth a lot of villagers when it comes to the production speed that it has. I mean, this is a fast castle age timing, in theory, like 10 minutes into the game with all the harassment that Puppypaw did or tried to do.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact VortiX still has food access with those berries, which was the 8 stack on the left side. Could even turn that into a ball play afterwards. In fact, he could pull the ball in range of the existing system for efficiency.
Yeah. I mean, both talked about it, right? Like, if that Barbican was just a little bit further closer to the gold, he would have been blocking that one out. And now he's paying the price for that.
He was just worried about a little bit of overextension there. So instead now has to play for his own tech up. Cataphracts are already hitting the field, and VortiX is barreling towards Puppypaw's base.
Paul now able to get his own age up in as well. But it's not really from a position of strength, I want to say.
No. It's going to have to be the clock tower as expected here. Will be a good answer to keep the Lombos at bay, which he needs. Problem is you're against Cataphracts, which have a very easy ability to snipe siege. And on top of that, they're already starting to dive the base. Lombos are going to reach in here, and those are vet Lombos, so the villagers are in trouble. Puppypaw, he can't make the tech up happen.
Imperial Official also getting sniped out there. He's got horsemen, but they're so weak up against the veterancy as well. Like, veterancy, Lombos can just snipe them out. And VortiX, he knows with the position of the age up that he can just stand there and snipe villagers whenever Puppypaw attempts to go for it.
You show the spears, they die to Lombos. You show the villagers, they die to Lombos. These are the kings. That's why you see VortiX keeps edging underneath the TC with the cavalry, essentially just using them as a tank to keep the real heroes alive.
Puppypaw's being really patient here, not sending the villagers out, just waiting.
Horseman out there to block, and he will be able to get the tech up. It's going to cost him a worker kill or two. But finally, China has reached up into Castle Age. Dive's going to come through now. The double cataphract underneath the town center. Lombos could find more worker kills, but the villagers are saving villagers' lives here for Puppypaw. The problem is there's no clear answer to these cataphracts.
Yeah, nothing left, and now Imperial Official once again gets taken down just after he picked up the techs.
He's not going to check for the wood line, so we'll be scared away temporarily, but with extra cataphracts on the way, I feel like VortiX has a very clear dive point here. Instead, he chooses just to camp the food.
All the food's there. All the food is here, and without food, like, Puppypaw can't really make anything. Now a couple of knights coming in.
He could just trample by.
Can Puppypaw hold this?
That's interesting. VortiX tramples to kill the spearmen. The cataphracts are still going to beat the lances. He wants those worker kills, though. The Lombos are diving. Yeah, underneath the TC like this. That was the thing that was keeping the spearmen in check. But now cataphracts are unleashed. Workers have to make like there's no tomorrow here, because that might not be for them.
They're gonna go on a little morning stroll now, but there's so many Lombos, and GG comes in.
Okay, we are seeing a strike back. VortiX reminding us he's not gonna die that easily. And Puppypaw, the Barbican, seemed like a sick play, one that could have got us the quickest game of the series. But you mentioned it, Crackety, maybe it just needed to be a little bit deeper. The difference it could have made if he was able to block that gold. And crazy as well, because Puppypaw saw the gold gathering. You mentioned he knew it was coming, but it just shows you how crazily strong this timing can be with the 5 systems to enhance it.
Byzantine economy behind it, it's just really strong. Like, looking at the total resources gathered here, considering that Puppypaw was gathering from Deer with Song Dynasty and taxation and whatnot, it's kind of crazy that VortiX's economy was pretty much even, if not ahead, for most of the game.
Yeah. Just well played to him as well. You know, I think these berries in particular came in clutch at the end, because it felt like he was going to be drained of food entirely, especially with the position in that Grand Winery. But threaded the needle beautifully. And, you know, Puppypaw, I wonder if the Pro Scouts was just too costly. I feel like we've been seeing that now. We talked about it a little bit in the Sushi game. Maybe this game as well with the Barbican drop. We talked about the possibility for like an all-in timing. He had the deer on the front. I wonder if, you know, in hindsight, look about this, Puppypaw felt that could have worked, or if it was just too ambitious of a move against Byzantine mercs that felt inevitable.
Maybe. It's a rough call to make, for sure. But yeah, I think we both can agree, like, if the Barbican was closer, the entire game would have been completely different. Like, look at the gold situation for VortiX here, right? Like, he would have to move so far in order to access gold on the other side of space.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, like, this is not a first-time attempt to this type of thing. Like, Puppypaw, I think, more so than any other player we see in like the top 16 in pro play, is infamous for these bargain timings. Like time and time again, we will see it in pro play where you're almost, you have that initial paranoia about it happening, and then you calm yourself. You take a deep breath. You're like, he's not going to rush me.
He would have done it by now.
Yeah, there's
Surely.
no way. And then all of a sudden, one of your villagers gets shot in the face, and you realize what's happened. Like, I've seen him do it so many times on maps where it should be obvious, like Frisian Marshes, and no one expects it. So yeah, crazy to think the VortiX was able to just repel it away so easily. But this is intriguing. We've got a Mongol pick, which makes a lot of sense for Relic River. House of Lancaster is a little bit more funky, though.
I think House of Lancaster is very flexible in where you can pick it, right? Like they do this, they do their thing. Doesn't matter what the map is, they just do their thing, and they're good at it, and they like doing it. And everybody respects them for doing it, of course.
Don't know about that.
The thing is that Mongols can't really go for like a Dark Age rush here in this situation, because House of Lancaster, they do get those short bows in. Means at least that Mongols, they can kind of like focus on their own kind of thing, like go for an early pasture, just scale the economy, and especially against the civilization that does kind of start off slow, like the House of Lancaster. This is it. This is the situation where Puppypaw can definitely go for a fast Imperial Age. He didn't manage to do it earlier. Maybe this time.
It's interesting because I think you start with the fishing, that can enhance you, and usually Lancaster doesn't like to react to that. That being said, we have seen a few players opening Dark Age racks with Lancaster. I think I saw VortiX do it in the group stage well, so he is amongst those that believe in it. If nothing else, it does get you a deer shove.
That's true. That's true. You always can get some use out of the Spearman nowadays.
Yeah, like, which is the nice thing, because I feel like we were missing Dark Age. Like, the big shout out to the devs between the deer shove. I know some people don't like the deer shove, but it's part of the catalyst that I think makes Dark Age interesting. The current Dark Age meta is 50 times more interesting than I think any other Dark Age meta we've had. But let's see if it's going to begin with Dark Age aggression. We hop in to game number 6. VortiX, he puts our finger on his pulse and lets us know he's alive. Can he get us all the way to a deciding BO7, game 7? Or is it going to end here? Puppypaw tries to make it so with the Mongol pick, but VortiX has gone for the House of L's, which in most people's eyes is always a House of W. I don't know how you feel about this, Sif Crackety. I feel I think we talked a little bit earlier about it. It's not broken anymore. It's not Imber. It may be frustrating to play against, but Lancaster is killable.
100% KPN. I mean, Puppypaw, looking at his space right now, this is a really, really good spawn. If you want to go for like a fast Imperial Age play, he's got the... okay, we do see the barracks. He's got the gold right next to the TC. That is a very good spawn in that regard. I'm confused a little bit. He is going for the early barracks play. He's only got 2 on wood, so this doesn't look like an outpost rush. This does just look like a couple of spearmen. Maybe he's just gonna like deer push, like get 1 double produced Betchen. Never mind, he cancels. He goes for the dock instead.
What? Okay, yeah. So moving the dock now. I think he was weighing it up because Puppypaw's Calm was sitting on the edge of VortiX's base, stroking his chin, humming and hawing. Yeah, because the stone is in a good position in theory.
Yeah, and he's noticed that VortiX has been doing a lot of these early Dark Age barracks, so he wanted to make sure that's not going to be anything like that.
And that's the thing, like, VortiX is the type of player that would throw that contradictive curveball because there's almost an order of things. You know, we talked about like how things are meant to be and how dare you contradict it. A bit like what Puppypaw done with his crossbows in that Order of the Dragon game. Well, the order of things here for Mongols is meant to be, I can build racks and double produce spearmen, so you shouldn't build a dock. So a lot of Mongol players have gotten privy to that and realized, oh wait, if that means he's not going to build a dock, he's not going to really build spears against me, then I get fishing for free.
That's right. Fishing for free is always good. Lancaster Castle now coming in. Pretty good spot for it here. Going to be able to get protection on not just the stone, but also the gold. So, not as ideal as you can get it.
Yeah, but like, I mean, think about Crackety. You know, 20 minutes into this game, that Lancaster Castle, the mana spam isn't going to protect his tree line. I mean, where will he get all his wood?
Where indeed? Where can you get wood in, like, as House of Lancaster? What possibilities do you have in that regard?
I guess you build a marketplace and you like trade for it, right? That must be the only way.
No other way. Yeah. Sometimes I do be like that.
I'm pretty convinced they're money laundering in those manors, by the way. Like they produce all this food and wood, but like where is it coming from? They're making but where they getting the meat for that? Those manors are not big enough to house a full ranch.
It's
right?
sheep kebab, man. That's where all the bonuses come from.
You know, like, okay, I'd be more... Here's an interesting vibe difference. You kind of make it a little bit like cows. You give House of Lancaster the ability to just spawn sheep. You have to garrison them inside the manors to produce resources.
Okay.
Which is a blast from the past, by the way, because I don't know if I'm trying to remember if the Age of Empires had it. I think Age of Empires 3 had it in a form, but it was different. But Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds used to have this. You could gather the equivalent of sheep, and you put them inside this mill building, and you passively generated food.
I believe Age of Empires 2 introduced that at one point as well with the civilization, where you're able to put sheep into mills.
Did they take it away in the end? Or is it... Okay, they still have it.
They still have it. I think that was when they split up the Indians.
That would make sense, yeah. Because for those who don't know, Galactic Battlegrounds was basically Star Wars. Like Age of Empires with Star Wars skin. Sold. Wait, what?
Silvertree here, I mean, okay. I guess if you have the map control, there's a very good trade route there.
So, Silvertree and fishing, because we all know what House of Lancaster is going to do, right?
They boom, so we boom too.
I swear, VortiX just does the free mana builds. It could easily
free
just
mana,
be...
fast castle, fast knights.
Yeah, just fast curtains closed and then game 7, right? Like it's pretty vicious what you can do. You can even technically play feudal with that build, because if you just build spearman yeoman and block the trade, like what does Puppypaw do to contest that? Like Keshiks are going to get mincemeat against Billman.
Yeah, but then you could also just add in the arch as well, right? Like it's still very expensive. Like the timing can be kind of rough for House of Lancaster to get enough units in for that.
Especially with the cost of yeoman being nerfed.
Yeah, like yeomen are just very expensive at the moment.
It feels a bit sad. Like, you know, some people are gonna hate me saying I don't think the yeoman needed the resource nerf. Like it feels like you have to do mana spam now if you want to make yeoman work.
I mean, you want to do mana spam pretty much anyways.
That's true. Like once again, just insert the Lord of the Rings why not meme. I mean, I already built 3 of them. And, like, I also, why not? Because, like, I've already formed a little bracket corner of my base. I could form 2 more bracket corners. That would tilt me, by the way.
Keshik's already in. Yeah.
Because, like, you've now built 3 of the 4 corners for a square. It just doesn't make sense.
We're also getting some double produced traders here. So, getting some good little boost there right off the bat.
And we are already seeing a muster.
That is quick. Whoa. Yeah, very early muster and 2 production buildings as well. So looks like VortiX, he respects the economy from Puppypaw. Very much so.
He definitely wants that trade gone. It's going to be a little tricky with Keshik spam, because Keshiks will win out against the Demi-Lancers. And nice scout. Puppypaw sees the play straight away.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting.
Vision there, really important.
Because you mentioned that Puppypaw could just go archers. Well, now you've littered in Demi-Lancers with spears. It makes it more complicated.
I mean, Demi-Lancers, they don't do bonus damage. You can kind of just ignore them with the archers.
It's more that you accidentally click them a lot, right? Like, you have to pay a lot more attention and click the targets in the fight versus an A-click.
Maybe.
Yeah, we are getting yeoman plus spears here. Puppypaw is going to need a transition.
Just doubling down. Yeah, he's doubling down on the Keshik play at the moment. I mean, he sees the barracks now, right? Like, he must know, okay, my opponent's going for Spearman.
The problem here is, like, Puppypaw isn't getting good value yet out of the Silver Tree because he's taking the short route. So, like, I think VortiX can maybe chill a little. If this was trading with his side, he'd have an easy reinforcement advantage.
This is still a very good resource, right? Like, 65?
That's true.
Without the gold bonus yet?
If he goes to the other one, it'd
really
be like,
big.
what, 90? Probably 90, right?
Like, this map is very big. So you can get a ton of resource with the trade there.
That's the secret trick when you play, like, a competitive game. Just like, yeah, let's play Relic River. And then sneak the next size map up. What he doesn't know.
Yeah. Relic River's also always been very bad. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Stop looking at us.
But the villagers. How could I lose the pathetic village?
I can't. Just wait. Give it
No.
2 more tech ups, and then he's gonna start 2-shotting them. It's gonna be revenge.
But right now he's not a Khan.
Just
He's a
mowing
Khan.
it down.
And the issue there is the spearmen were being target fired. So great micro by Puppypaw. VortiX has got a second wave of spears, but nowhere near this right now. The Demon Lancers, well, I think 2 of them are almost dead, right? So not much threat there.
Not healthy.
A little bit overkill here now from the Keshix. Puppypaw not respecting the damage coming his way.
He's gonna have to back off a little bit more, but it's already back up to 7 Keshix overall. Archer's now coming in as well, so he's gonna have an answer to the Spearman.
It really strikes you how depressing this trade-off is. You know, you almost do 0 damage with Demi Lancers in that fight because of the heal.
Yeah. He attacks so quickly as well. Yeah, you pretty much almost out-heal him. Oh, the traders just make it out. VortiX not diving in deep enough there to see him.
Okay, and Puppypaw, an
Now
aggressive.
it's full on play
pivot.
to the archers.
I wonder, are we going
needs
to see a
food.
Blacksmith Rush? Because, like, right now, that could be the big edge for VortiX. He has got Steel Arrow coming in. And if you don't have Undermesh, the Keshix are going to start melting to this.
Yeah.
Is this the first
There's
game
an
where
issue
Demi
for
Lancers
Puppypaw,
aren't going to
even-
win?
It might be. It's not a lot, right? Like VortiX, he's on 3 manners. And Puppypaw, he's ahead by like 8 economy units now.
I feel like we've seen a lot of games where 5 Demi Lancers can win the game, but it's usually because what you're doing is distracting to be greedy. Whereas these Demi Lancers were designed to stop greed, which hasn't worked at all.
Looking at the income at the moment, though, VortiX, he's pushing very far ahead.
By the way, that gap for Puppypaw you're talking about where he had to move out to deer, imagine how different this game looks if he didn't have the fishing as well.
Yeah, it would have been an absolute disaster for him then.
Wait, he's trading
He's
from
trading
his dock
to
now.
the dock.
Go
That's
flappers.
clever.
That is brilliant. Now the Keshix.
A
Oh
good
my
raid.
god. Unguarded tree line here. But wait, we've got manners. They shoot. Don't care. Get in deeper.
Can't garrison inside of them. That's a lot of villagers down. Some traders going down as well. Idle time on the wood line. When VortiX wants to spam archers, hurts him a lot.
Is he gonna
Oh,
get
and
it again?
then the follow-up onto the next wood line.
VortiX. Well, Puppypaw, he thought he was
Puppypaw.
looking. If he's distracted himself right now, there's just a dive point available to me. There's no wheelbarrow. I guess without the Khan, he just doesn't feel like he has the gap close. So backs away. Now might be
I
in
think he
peril
has to
here.
worry about his own base now.
Yep, we
That's
do
a
not
lot
have
of
Yam.
units. Yeah, he's going for the burn.
Villagers, they're not moving away. Puppypaw trying to just stand his ground here. He needs every ounce of food he can get. The Keshix are nowhere near this engagement. Archer the attack speed arrow. Villagers are going to come in for the repair. They have to sacrifice their lives just to keep the defense up. The Keshix are getting cleared.
So costly.
No wood.
Insufficient wood as well.
If he can
Calm
clear the
down.
spears, though, yeah, this is
He
enough.
clears it.
VortiX, he can't burn it now. There's no spears
The
left. Only
Keshix are
5.
coming in from the Keshix are coming in to block off the retreat.
Oh my god, this could be perfect. Kismet.
This was... He didn't even lose that many villagers.
Nope. And now the Keshix's going to make sure everything gets cleared. Only 3 spears left here. And the archers will clear them. So chow down time on those pricey yeomen. VortiX needs to rally more spears ASAP. Has got a few more coming in. The Keshix, he actually dives back towards them. It's Ring a Rosies here. And a pocket full of dead by the looks of it. But the death count is going to be higher for VortiX. The Keshix, just enough
Structure
here
value
to clear
through
it
the
out.
roof. He's killing them all.
Not just
Spearmen
that.
coming in. Billows there as
Remem-
well, but yeah, they're gone. All
It's
done.
not just that. It's more than that. Remember, the traders are going long distance as well. So a remax into more Keshix feasible now that he's reclaimed onto the deer. VortiX, not a single extra mana. This is just him stuck on the free.
And after all of this, Puppypaw is still ahead in the economy.
Crazy. Okay, I'm not crazy about that, though. Like, please, just
That's not...
go for the dock. Go for glory.
Or go for VortiX's market.
That's true. I think that's maybe what he had in mind originally.
See?
I mean, it would be the maximum distance he's got right now. VortiX. I think maybe he's suspicious. He's moving up north. Unfortunately, his timing's going to be worse than the Keshix. I don't know if Does Puppypaw have to defend here? I feel like defending makes more sense right now, right? With your economy
Yeah.
being better.
I mean, you still want to use the Keshix to raid. Thing is, he just doesn't know about this troop right now going across.
We may, we might. You might as well commit. You revealed yourself. Keshix in. Oh no! What do you mean I can't come in this castle? Open up! That's not the way that landmark works, my friend. Lancaster Castle allows no man, woman, or child inside. It is the anti-Titanic lifeboat.
Yeah, villagers just sitting outside.
Short bows.
Shouting, let me in!
I'm sorry, there's just no room on
Keshix
this.
lost, though.
It is buying time, right? No, he's just sending it. Like I thought VortiX was maybe just not looking at the
this time's double outpost, though. Oh, yeah, that's not happening.
Only 2 Keshix, but enough archers to clear the spears. And the traders just like, don't mind me, guys. Just you keep doing you. Nothing to see here. I mean, Yeoman should be able to snipe that, but I think VortiX is just maybe a little bit too worried. Yeah. How dare he be running?
Keshix reinforcements coming in as well.
We're gamers.
I mean, now it's just too much.
Oh my god. Yeah, the Keshix. I mean, he can just run this down casually now. Second wave of spin is coming through. I feel like the Yeomen just need to return fire to scare him at least. So we'll poke and prod a little bit. It is even on the archer count from both sides, but you can just feel the noose wrapping around VortiX's neck. He knows what's happening here. He doesn't have his own scale point, and now he's failing to stop the traders.
Yeah. It's starting to become worse and worse. Puppypaw doesn't have any economy upgrades yet, though. And again, also VortiX, also not double VortiX. Double VortiX at this point in time, kind of wild that neither of the players have gone for it yet.
I guess I think it makes so VortiX hasn't really been on the gold much, right? Because like he didn't want to spam more manas. But Puppypaw, it makes more sense as well. Like you'd think he has all this gold income, but I think he only has 4 or 5 traders currently, and obviously he's spamming the crap out of Keshix.
Yeah. Heavy gold investment, but now Keshix on 2 fronts, and VortiX, he went out far onto the berries.
He's going to catch him on both. Yeah, outpost up there.
Outpost alerts
but
him.
There's too many workers, so he needs to run. North side, Puppypaw. He's looking to dive in again, but he looks in the wrong location. There's no one here. If he just checks north, if he just punts a falcon out, but he never scouted.
He doesn't know that there's berries.
Dives the tree line instead.
It's the woodworkers. And
Yeomen
just runs through, but he's trapped.
Oh. Gonna have to run past. Even the villagers are just mocking him right now. Like, oh, nice. We have attacks too.
He's run through the Yeomen, then to run past the spears.
He pins them inside, and now the villagers, he's still gonna find them.
Oh, he gets some reinforcements. Well, reinforcement villagers.
Look at those bodies.
Why he killed so many there?
Yeah, because VortiX went back to work. He didn't realize.
Oh no. 57 to 33 villagers. Or economy units, rather. Trade skill scaling behind us as well.
We've got traders, we've got the fishing boats, which remember, that south side river has 3,000 food in it. So he's got plenty of runway still there.
Yeah,
and this stealth forest
trade, though,
is a little bit cursed, because I'm pretty sure VortiX just ran a few yeomen inside it. Okay, it's the spears. Oh, God, that feels even worse. He's coming back again.
Yeah.
And once again, VortiX has too many villagers here. No, because he's looking at the main fight. Dive comes in. Look at the health bars there. That's a disaster.
No.
Yeah, but where's he running? It's not straight back to the TC. It's further away from safety. He's pulling them over to the spears out in the open, but that means the more of them are going to die. Archers engage over on the Mongol side of the map. Only a few Keshix here. But with static defenses, it's much harder for VortiX to get in with the loss of spearmen here. And those Keshix survive.
And the spearmen, they're getting absolutely rinsed, so now there's not going to be any more burn damage coming in.
Keshix on the tree line as well.
He's still getting more damage in.
This is ridiculous. I'm confused, Crackly. I thought the idea of archers is you stutter step. This man has not moved those archers at all. This is full, just firm, stand your ground, and he's destroying the Lancaster offensive.
Yes, and at this point in time, like, no way out. GG comes in. Puppypaw, he's done it.
To be expected given their history, an 80% win rate, and Puppypaw proving why. VortiX's journey will end here in top 8, while Puppypaw keeps his dream alive but it might be his nightmare. His arch nemesis, Marine Lord, will be waiting for him in the round of 6.
Oh man, yeah, that's gonna be really tough. Up against Marine Lord now in the round of 6, not a round really where you would expect to have to face off against Marine Lord. Typically, his space is kind of reserved to be, sometimes seeded in the finals or at least seeded a little bit higher. But this time around, he's gonna have to take a couple of extra sets before making his way to the finals, potentially at least. Puppypaw. We know his history with Marine Lord hasn't been too successful, but I'm quite sure he feels confident this time around.
Yeah, I think this has got to be reinvigorating. I think for the Canadians, the first EGC event of the year, maybe setting high expectations and then falling short. I know they would have been super hard on themselves on what they'd done there. But great to see they're rallying back. And I think, maybe feeling the pressure a little bit. Like for him, he was the sole remaining member of NA. Usually we're used to seeing Puppypaw and Wham with recent events making top 8 type appearances. So it really is all on him. And with how VortiX has been looking and trending upwards, I think that this is an inspirational start. Obviously not a complete wipe, but 4-2, an impressive score, especially with how tricky VortiX made some of these games. I mean, in particular, that Byzantine game, it's crazy to think just how close that was to Puppypaw making it a 4-1 scoreline.
Yeah, those were really close. Both Byzantine games, in fact.
But you know what? We can dig into it a little bit. We've actually got Puppypaw on the line for a winner's interview. Puppypaw, congratulations on an impressive victory over VortiX. I want to talk to you about coming into this tournament, because I was just saying to Cracky, I feel like there was very high expectations going to start this year. And I know you can sometimes be tough on yourself. Did you feel like after the first event that you maybe underperformed? Like, how were you feeling coming into Elite Classic 3 after the previous EGC tournament?
Yeah, I feel like I underperformed a little bit. Not like awful, right? I got top 6, but I'm always trying to do a bit better than that these days.
Do you feel like pressure sometimes? Because I think, you've had so many great runs, especially towards the end of 2024. Like, do you see anything less than top 3 now as maybe just not exceeding what you should be able to achieve?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to like even win these tournaments, but obviously the competition's like very deep these days. Like Anatan's gotten much better. We've obviously seen CSO do really well this tournament, so people are improving. So it's difficult.
Did you feel like the changes coming in with Season 10, the new DLC, like, does this feel like a meta that suits your style more? Because, like, you obviously want to be the best, but I think we can agree, like, RTSs have this habit of metas that will empower or depower certain players.
Yeah, that's a difficult question to answer, I feel like, because a lot of the time it's like maps that change, and the Pro Scout change was pretty big as well. So I wouldn't say like just the DLC, but I feel a bit more comfortable in this patch than I did in the previous one, yeah, for sure.
Have there been any big surprises for you coming into the Elite Classic 3? I think, the most obvious one for a lot of people has been CSO's performances, but you mentioned it yourself, like the competition's heating up. What's been the biggest shock and surprise reveal for you in Elite Classic 3?
Yeah, it's got to be both the Chinese pros, right? Like, not only CSO, but UEMT, he's been doing so well. He beat Marinord, and he beat everyone in his group, right? So, I feel like sometimes he looks a bit shaky, but then there's times he just looks like he's just dominating like match after match. So let's see which one he can muster in the next matches. But yeah, the Chinese players have been doing super well.
Yeah, guy feels like a little bit of a monster, maybe the dark horse. I think, looking at this series against VortiX, we talked at the start that statistically you are heavily favored. I don't know if you realize this going in, you have an 80% win rate against him in series. What was your thought process going into this one? Because VortiX has been hard on the grind. There's been question marks about whether he's going to come in and be the monster he has been in the past. Did you feel like you had his number going into this, or did VortiX have quite a few surprises in this series?
I feel like I feel like we both played. I feel like we both have a very good chance of beating each other, at least at the moment. Obviously, I have a better win rate, but I think it can be like very seasonal. Like last year, I did much better than he did, and then the year before, he did pretty well. So I guess it just kind of determines what shape we're in, and I think in these longer sets, I have a bit better of a chance of winning. I guess just because I feel like I play more civs and I can kind of adapt easier on the fly, I feel like, but you know, yeah, either of us can win for sure.
I think you proved that you and Wham are very capable of playing the marathons. The longer series is more comfortable ever since that Red Bull World Law final showdown to qualify. I think kind of stated the fact that you guys can take a very long day. And, you know, it could be a long and arduous day tomorrow because we've got to talk about what's coming up. Not sure you wanted to meet him this early, but I think I referred to him as your arch nemesis. Obviously, you guys were there in the finals. He was the final boss of Red Bull World Law. Marine Lord would be your next opponent. What's your feelings? What's your expectations? Like, of all the players, is this the one that you see as the boogeyman, the big one to beat?
I mean, I suppose so. I mean, I feel like he plays a bit similar to me, but a bit more defensive, which can be difficult for me to, like, I guess, break his defenses, or lack of a better word. Like, he's just he plays very macro oriented, and it's a bit of a difficult style. Like in the last game against VortiX, I kind of just picked him apart, like rated him, and took like a slight economic lead. So I feel like his style is pretty good against mine. And then, but I don't know. I've been doing pretty well in practice at the moment, so I feel like I have a pretty decent chance if I play well.
All right. Do you think the new maps are going to be maybe like a clutch factor for you? Because, you know, I know you and Wham particularly go through the iterations a lot of experimentation. I'm sure there's some things, don't need to reveal what they are, that you've been cooking your mind, but, you know, we are in a new meta. There is a lot undiscovered. Without revealing too much, do you think there's still a lot of things people haven't realized yet?
Yeah, I think like at the top level, I think people kind of get it mistaken a bit. Like the pro players know everything, you know, and they know what they're doing all the time. And it's like ARE4 is a game that is like being patched regularly, which is good. And on top of that, there's so many matchups and so many different civs. Like there's always room to run and not only run and get better, but like try hidden strategies and stuff like that. So.
All right. Well, I'm interested to see how you're going to do. Excited for the series tomorrow, folks. So you want to catch more Puppypaw, he will be back tomorrow up against the chimp, Marine Lord himself. But Puppypaw, thank you for taking the time for us, and you go get yourself some well-earned rest.
Yeah, thank you guys.